Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another very exciting episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I'm your host, Nico, and today I'm going to be posing the most pressing ethical dilemma to each of my special guests here today. Boys, would you rather have a Squishmallow daughter or a Funko Pop son? Tanner, which one?
Squishmallow daughter. That I feel like that's relatively more normal, or at the very least socially acceptable.
Jackson, how about you?
Yeah, I'd probably say Squishmallows, just because most girls are into like plushes, so they're pretty inoffensive.
That's true. Dylan, which way are you swinging?
I mean, if it's not already obvious, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Funko Pop son.
And Blake.
I never really thought about it much before, but maybe. I guess the
surprising if you had.
I guess the Squishmallow.
I had only pondered this a few times in my time.
Why am I the only person who... Okay, interesting.
You have the most Funko Pops, so it only makes sense.
I know.
And of course, boys, today I have brought you all together here today for us to talk about perhaps the second most pressing matter facing our generation, which is, what are the top 10 Wii games of all time?
Oh yeah, I know. Let me list them out.
Yeah, dude, I got the list right here.
I'm gonna list them out.
No, guys, I got this. It's fine. I've got it covered.
Hold on a second.
Alright, so yeah, we have all created our own individual top 10 Wii games list, and so we're going to be presenting them all to you fine folks. And after that, we will be doing a Battle Royale style, knocking that shit down to determine what is the definitive top 10 list of games. Dylan, you sound very spry and spunky today. Would you like to start us off here?
Alright, am I going in ascending order? Should I start at 10 and work my way up?
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Oh, hold on. Are we gonna order them?
I thought we were. Is this not the...
I guess we will.
I figured we could not order our personal list, and then we'd order them as we're going through the top one.
Shit, I ordered mine.
That's fine.
Anyway, so starting at number 10.
Are we gonna take turns doing all 10 of ours, or do one each and go in a row?
Yeah, I guess go in a one each here.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Now keep in mind, I don't think these... I'm not gonna preface. At number 10, I have Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess.
Mine are unordered, but the first one on my list is Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Ooh, nice.
That's my number one.
That's a pretty good one.
Okay, what's the fucking order we're doing here? So, like, we probably should have established that.
The order has been established. It is Dylan, Jackson, Blake, me, Tanner. Alright, so for mine, I actually ordered them as well, Dylan. My number 10 is Dokapon Kingdom.
Whatever that is.
I don't...
It's a fun sort of Monopoly-style game, you know, it's a cute little board game type of Wii thing that is just incredibly confusing, and there's just so much shit going on in it, but it's a hoot and a holler, I tell you what.
Okay.
Dude, I have heard of this one, and it looked very fun when, Chumba something or other played it.
Chumbawamba? Yeah, I saw the band, like, did that for their 5th reunion or something like that.
No, whatever that channel is. I can't remember. Anyway, I am going to be... I don't have mine ordered, but I'll get the obvious ones out of the way. I'm going to be placing up Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Ooh. There we go.
You would put Brawl on your list.
You wouldn't put Brawl on your list.
Anyways, go ahead, Dylan.
Alright, next up, my number 9, Donkey Kong Country.
Personally, the second one on my list is Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Oh, damn. Who would have... I'm sorry, I should have never doubted you.
Dylan, do you mean Donkey Kong Country Returns?
Probably.
Yeah, that's the one on the Wii.
Okay.
Yes, please keep spelling country like cunt-tree.
He didn't spell Donkey Kong right.
Alright, so Blake, what's your next one?
I think my number 2 is going to have to be New Super Mario Bros.
Solid, that's a solid one.
It's New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Well, yeah, but
New Super Mario Bros. Is the DS one.
But, like, this is the top 10 Wii games of all time. Like, that's pretty self-explanatory, don't you think?
No, there are stupid people on the internet who are watching this video right now. I know one of you just at your screen. They don't know that's the DS game. I do know. My next game here is Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I also had that on my list.
God damn, you guys all played Return to Dreamland. What the fuck?
That's why we all like it so much.
God damn, I did not play
it. Yeah,
it.
we spent a lot of time with it.
Huh.
Okay, and my next one is Mario Kart Wii.
Oh, there we go. This guy's a fucking goat. I love him already. Next up on my list, number 8, is going to be, in fact, Sonic Colors.
My next one is Cave Story.
Never heard of it.
I'm gonna kill myself. It's over. GG.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Blake, what's your next one?
I'm gonna have to say Super Mario Galaxy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right, my next one here is No More Heroes 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that that's the fighting one, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
It's a
no.
hack and slash sort of game.
You're right, I'm thinking of the wrong game.
All right, and for my next one, I am going to go Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Huh. I feel like this may be on Jackson's list as well, but we'll have to see.
I fucking love Lego Star Wars.
I know you. Well,
Jackson said that there were like 50 games on his list that none of us would have on ours, so I'm very excited to hear what these are.
I said there's like 3.
50, 30, what's the difference besides 47? Next up, number 7 for me is going to be Super Paper Mario. Fucking love these games.
Next up for me is Wii Sports.
Basic ass answer.
In fairness, it's a solid collection of games, though.
I mean, true, but like Wii Sports Resort is like the better variation of it.
I agree.
You know what? That's fair, dude. Sorry I doubted you again.
Blake, what's your next one?
I'm gonna have to say Brawl.
I could have sworn he already had it listed, and I was going to have to break the news to him.
Dude, well, it's because we've got 3 other people who already have it. I have a feeling Super Smash Bros. Brawl is going to go rather high on this list.
There might be another person who's going to mention it, too.
Probably.
For now, though, my number 7 pick was Rayman Origins.
Is that for Wii?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I didn't know that. I have that shit on my fucking Xbox. I love that. Well, I don't like Origins. I like Legends better, but you know.
Unfortunately, Legends never came to Wii.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was on Wii U. My next one is going to be Mario Strikers Charged.
Ooh. I forgot about Mario
That was
Strikers.
in my honorable mentions list.
Yeah, dude, I forgot about... Nico got me into that, actually, a little bit. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, I guess that's me next. Yeah, my number 6, this is where the list started getting a little tough. But my next, number 6, is going to be Super Mario Sports Mix. I fucking loved this game. Nico knows how much I fucking love this game.
That was also on my honorable mentions.
Dude, this game was so... I love Dodgeball. It is the greatest fucking game ever. I loved it.
I cut that game pretty late into making my list. It was on there for a while, but eventually I had to axe it.
Understandable, dude.
Anyways, next up on my list is Wii Sports Resort.
Holy shit, he's goated. I'm sorry, Jackson. I love you long time.
I might have to put Mario Kart. I mean, in the grand scheme of Mario Kart's like, it's kind of like debatable, like, but I mean, I still play it like frequently to this day, like when I hang out with my brother.
Hell yeah.
I mean, hey, dude, this is the best Mario Kart IMHO. And despite that, I forgot to put it on my list. Oops! My next one is Wii Sports Resort 2.
Damn. Yeah, dude. Swordplay or those plane shit, both of those are solid.
Oh, I love
both of those.
Swordplay.
Oh.
Island Tour, that shit was fucking sweet.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, and for my next pick, I am doing Epic Mickey.
Oh. I almost got into that, but like, it never fully appealed to me, unfortunately. Good to hear.
I did get very into it.
That's good.
I'm sure if I got it, I would have fucking loved that shit. Epic Mickey was the very first cover that I ever saw on a Game Informer magazine. I saw this and I was like, they made Mickey Mouse cool? That's insane.
Alright, I guess that puts me next again. Number 5 for me is going to be Super Mario Galaxy.
Dylan, are you a Galaxy over Galaxy 2 kind of guy?
I guess you'll find out now, won't you?
I guess so.
Next up for me is Lego
Oh.
Indiana Jones 2.
Oh, who would have fucking guessed? The only reason he knows that Indiana Jones as a movie franchise exists is because of the Lego Wii games.
Wait, so for the Lego Indiana Jones games, did they split each movie into its own game?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, I think... Man, I'm trying to remember.
I was under the impression there was only just like the one game that had all the movies.
I'm pretty sure Lego Indiana Jones... No, there is 2. I think Lego Indiana Jones 2 just does the 3 movies again and then adds the 4th one.
Interesting.
Okay.
I would have had the fucking Star Wars one on it, but unfortunately I played that on PlayStation.
Damn. Robbed glory.
I think my next one would be Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Oh, let's fucking go, Blake. You know what's up. This guy right here, he gets me.
It's a masterpiece.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking fun. I love that game.
It's a pretty good game, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Of course,
sir.
my next one, though, I also put Twilight Princess on my list.
Yes, you liked it. I think Twilight Princess would be higher on my list if I actually beat it. I never
Yeah, I
did.
remember you had gotten it, and we had, like, talked about it a little bit, and you said, yeah, you know, I'm just, like, really stuck on this one part, and then later on, I end up picking up the game, and I got past that one part. I was like, Dylan, this is how you get past it, and I don't think you ever actually went to do it, but, you know.
Nope.
I beat the game, at least.
Yeah, good game.
Okay, my next one is Super Mario Sluggers.
Ooh, fuck, dude. That was another game on my honorable mentions that got cut
2
late.
Mario baseball games on your list, huh?
No.
No.
Oh, Striker's a stalker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's never mind.
Bro likes sports.
Dude, Mario Sports Mix, that's your game right there, I'm telling you. Anyway, next up on my
Gotta pick
list.
up Mario 3v3 basketball. I love that one.
Unfortunately, that's not it. Nico was in fact correct, or should I say incorrect, with his speculation. My next pick is Super Mario Galaxy 2. I did enjoy it. I liked Super Mario Galaxy 2 more than 1 because it had more variety. I liked the added content.
Dylan, do you like the number 1 over number 2, or number 2 over number 1?
A lot of people will put the second Mario Galaxy under the first one because, like, it's just more Mario Galaxy. They don't change enough in this game, but, like, it's still more Mario Galaxy, right?
Yeah,
like,
pretty
come
much.
on.
Like they
It's
they
got
go
Yoshi in it this time, though.
yeah, they go crazy with a lot of concepts in the second one. I fuck with it.
I don't remember what the second one added.
I can't.
Yoshi,
It's
it just said.
more power-ups and planets and side content and shit. Jackson,
New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
holy shit. I feel like this is another one that a majority of us will have on all of our lists collectively.
Mine's going to be like the most generic list of all time.
It's fine, dude. Don't even worry about it. That's how mine started.
No, let's see. This is where I'm going to say probably Wii Sports Resort. I mean, I like the original Wii Sports too, but Resort was just kind of an improved version.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what it's about.
Agreed, dude. It's got the Wii Motion Plus on it. That shit kicked ass. You had to hold your Wii remote face down so it could stabilize or whatever.
Also, yeah. Dude.
Okay,
That was
guys.
fancy for the time.
It's making another appearance. I'm very happy it got as much representation as it did. I also have Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Dude, yes. Now it makes me wish it was higher on my list, but, like, I just love these other games so much more.
Okay, next up, I have got Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Is it like a fucking Pokemon Snap-esque?
No, it's a little adventure game where you run around and you use moves, and it also has like mini game things a la
Cool.
Pokemon Stadium.
Ooh. Okay. That sounds fun.
This is a wild pick.
Karen's got a very interesting list thus far.
Dude, I wish they had brought back games like fucking Pokemon Coliseum and Well, I mean, I guess I'd bring back Pokemon Snap, but, you know.
Dude, I just had a blast with Pokepark. What can I say?
It sounds like it's pretty... I mean, your list isn't ordered, I guess, so I can't say it's pretty high up there. Anyway, my next pick, at number 3, in fact, is Mario Kart Wii. Unsurprisingly. Dude, I got so good at this. I gold trophied every cup my first... I don't know why. First attempt every time. Unlocked every character. Beat all the best times. Shit was crazy.
Dude, I remember you had your mom, like, go on the internet and look up, like, Mario Kart Wii cheats or whatever the fuck, like, tips and, like, how to unlock each thing. And it got, like, printed out in this massive list that we poured over, so we knew how to unlock everything.
Yes, sir.
But Dylan, did you play with the Wii wheel? That's
Oh,
the
of
real
course,
question.
dude. And on manual? Are you kidding? That's, like, the optimal way to play. Get your free boosts and shit.
I always found it pretty hard to actually do the motion sensor thing. I always just stuck with the GameCube controller for the most
That's
part.
fair, dude. To each their own. I'm not going to criticize
I was
you.
a nunchuck man, personally.
I know, and I hated you for it.
I didn't play that fucking game, and that's why it's not on my list. Except
You're a
what is
racing
on my
guy.
list is Toy Story 3. I mean, it's a racing game, but it's not the type of racing game I like.
That's fair.
Yeah, next on my list is Toy Story 3.
I didn't know that was a
I never would have
game.
guessed that.
That shit's fucking peak.
I've shockingly heard good things about Toy Story 3.
I like it for one specific feature, and that specific feature alone.
He likes playing as Zurg and blasting people.
I don't even. Okay.
You can't do that,
Huh.
I think.
I think my next one is going to be We Play. It's, just kind of
Dude.
a simple party game.
The tank mini game in that one ruined my relationship with my father.
I was a bull run person myself, to be honest, or like maybe the fish catching one. That shit was fun.
Oh, you can catch the king of the pond in that? Shit was
I
fire.
hated real life fishing, but We Play fishing. Good stuff.
Alright, so my next one here, I've got a game you unfortunately cannot go fishing in, which is Skyward Sword.
Ooh, okay, makes sense.
Hang on, you ride around a boat at one point. Can you go fishing on that? I don't think you can. I really hope we don't get a hateful, just despicable comment later about how you actually can fish in Skyward Sword. That would
We do have a
just
bunch of
ruin my
haters
day.
in our comment section, dude. That's not too far off base.
And next up, my next pick is Drawn to Life, the next chapter.
Is that the one where in the end it turns out you were in like a terrible car accident and like your family died and you were in a coma?
I don't really remember much about the story of this game. I just remember playing it and thinking it was fun.
I genuinely had no idea Drawn to Life was on the Wii. I played the shit out of both of those games on the DS.
Yeah.
I still like the DS one better.
I suddenly want to play this game all of a sudden.
Oh
Second.
man. Yeah, next up on my list, number 2, in fact. Nico fucking hated this game for a very specific reason. I love the shit out of this game, though. Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I think it's simply an inferior Return to Dreamland.
Wait a second. I thought... Wasn't that on the Wii U?
No, it's on the Wii.
They made it. They made like an updated. I remember the reason specifically Nico hated this game is that there's no challenge. You can't actually die and fail the level. You just get reset to your last point. I'm like, dude, that's hardly the point of it. It's a fun, cute little game. I love this shit. Kirby's so cute in this game. You get a bunch.
I think it's like you don't even have health in that game.
You
like
don't.
You just drop
lose gems.
crystals.
Yeah. You said the reason you didn't like it is because it offered no challenge.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I didn't care, dude. You unlock things with those crystals. That's why you want to keep them. I don't know.
I think it has very cute aesthetics, though. I'll give it that.
It's very nice. I love that shit.
It's
very
a
aesthetically
perfect
pleasing.
like little sibling game to introduce them to video games.
Yeah. I feel like it would have fucked with Return to Dreamland if I had actually played it, but alas, I didn't.
Dude, it has a Switch version now. Buy that and play that.
I might just do that, dude.
Okay, anyways, my next pick is Super Mario Galaxy. I've literally never played
Yes.
it before. I've heard it's very good, though, so that's on my list.
Oh. Interesting, I guess. Very cool.
It's to the Wii like what Sunshine was to the GameCube.
The problem here
love
is that I
Sunshine.
didn't play a crazy amount of Wii games because I wasn't allowed to play video games that much as a child. So most of what I played was just going and hanging out with Blake and playing shit at his house. So it's, a lot of the big ones.
Maybe that's why your guys' lists are so similar.
Yeah, most of my Wii playing was at his house.
That's so funny. I'm gonna see a lot of similarities, I guess.
And now give us your next pick.
Let's see. That's gonna probably be... Yeah, probably still Drawn to Life.
Really? Okay, it's 2 now. I don't...
Also Drawn to Life. I was not expecting this much representation for it.
Yeah, I was absolutely not expecting anyone to be with me on that one.
Drawn to Life is fucking sick.
It was literally gonna be my next one, but I still like the DS one more.
I played Scribblenauts. Is that basically the same thing?
No.
Damn.
Scribblenauts is also very good, though.
I feel like I should know. They made one for the Wii U, I think. Should I know what this game is? I feel like I've heard of it. Oh, this
Potentially.
shit! I've seen
Yeah,
this.
you like draw your own little creation and you pilot him around. It's a gay old time.
I almost got it because of Scribblenauts, but I never committed.
Speaking of commitment, I'm going to go ahead and put a ring on this game's finger since everyone else apparently has. It's also Smash Bros. Brawl.
Holy smoke. Not your top one. Well, that's fair, but I remember you fucking... Yeah. I'm
I
curious
think
to see your
there's a very
first.
obvious number one for me personally.
I feel like I know what it is, but I'll leave that for later.
I am deeply shocked this one has not come up yet.
Okay.
Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I did not fuck with that game. I liked the original Sonic Riders. I tried Zero Gravity. Did not like it as much. I don't know why.
I liked it a lot, but it's a PS2 game to me.
Oh well.
Yikes. I guess that leaves me. Yeah, finally, to cap this all off, unsurprisingly, this was a really hard list to compile, but just based on playtime and enjoyment, and hanging out with the boys, as it were, my number one pick for this list is Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Of course it is.
Dude, I have a strong feeling I know what's getting on the list, guaranteed. You know, I'm just saying.
I don't know, you guys just want to knock it out preemptively. I feel like it's just, like, so obvious. We don't even really need to mention it.
Yeah, put it at number 10.
Put it at, well,
Put it
I
at
think it's
number
gonna be-
11. It can be on the honorary list.
Holy shit.
Anyways, the last pick on my list, which I'm going to be honest here, I would have also added Sonic Riders Zero Gravity to my list, but I played it on the PlayStation as well, was, of course, Resident Evil 4.
That didn't cross my mind because I just don't think of it as...
A Wii game?
Yeah, but I did play it on the Wii.
And I played it on your Wii, which is why I know about it.
I guess that makes it my number 10 too.
I got
Holy
to the
shit,
part
there
in
we
the
go.
intro where you heard the zombie breathing inside the house, and I turned off the game because I was too scared.
Little did you know it was breathing inside your house because that sound was coming out of the not the nunchuck, the Wii remote.
Holy shit, you're right.
So immersive.
Oh, Blake, did you say it's also your number 10?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it didn't cross my mind actually before because I just don't think of it as a Wii game specifically. But I did play it quite a bit on the Wii.
I don't think most people think of Resident Evil 4 as a Wii game, but it's fun that that's where you guys experienced it.
Fuck a Wii ball, dude. You know, the first time I played Call of Duty was on a DS.
What the fuck?
I think
Yeah.
maybe same. I'm not entirely sure, but
It was fucking terrible. I played multiplayer on it too and everything with like the DS like share play or whatever it was.
God.
yeah. All right, and for my number one, it's finally here. Of course, my favorite game on the Wii is Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, not number 2. I was expecting number 2.
2 is on the Switch.
Oh, that's fair.
Is the Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch the same thing, or is it like is it different in any way?
Yeah, so Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch is the remake of the Wii version. And there's also like 2 and 3 on the Switch as well. You know, those came afterward, obviously. Those were not on the Wii.
Damn.
And my final one is going to be GoldenEye 007.
Holy shit, that's...
I had a feeling I'd be seeing that one from you.
And just like that, Tanner is in fact the boomer of the group.
Yeah, GoldenEye 007, best multiplayer on the Wii.
Really?
This is one that I will be fighting for.
You're literally saying it had the best multiplayer on the Wii despite Super Smash Bros. Brawl also being on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite Mario Kart Wii also being on your list.
Best online multiplayer, let
Who
me say
the
that.
fuck played online multiplayer for the Wii?
That's what I'm wondering.
Me and my GoldenEye 007 ballers, dude.
Me and my clan on 007 for the Wii.
Yeah, okay. So... I think it's pretty obvious. Is Brawl the only one that all 5 of us had?
I think so. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that just makes it the number 1?
I think we can safely say that, yes.
Yeah, okay. If it's one we have... Yeah, I was gonna say no, but that makes sense.
Which is funny because it's a Lambasser. I don't really think it's that crazy. I mostly just like it because of its level editor and not much else.
Its level editor is very underrated. I feel like that was a fun little thing that they tried for the series, and they brought it back in full force for the Switch. Who boy did people make some kooky levels on there.
Dude, it's like the fucking Halo Reach of the Nintendo games. What can I say?
Should we just go for other ones that people picked a lot? Like fucking Super Mario Galaxy is on a few.
Yeah, how many times does that show up? Like 3 times?
3 times, yeah.
Well, there's
Fucking
that,
Wii
there's
Sports Resorts is
Donkey
on.
Kong.
Yeah,
I was
Donkey
gonna say,
Kong.
are there any that show up on 4 people's?
No, I think it's
Wii
just
Sports
3.
Resorts?
No. Because I think it's just Yeah, Tanner doesn't have it either. So Wii Sports Resort shows up 3 times. Donkey Kong Country Return shows up 3 times. And
Super Mario
fucking
Galaxy.
Return to Dreamland also shows... Does Mario Galaxy show up 3 times? Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
we have 4... So there's Mario Galaxy, and then also fucking Wii Sports Resort, I think, also shows up 3 times. So we have 4 contenders for second place, which doesn't fucking help, because that shit... I guess we can also base it off of position on the list, but I think only 2 of us base it on least of best, so that's kind of hard to say.
I think Brawl is the obvious number 1 here. We can kind of just like add the other ones that seem like, you know, they'll be on there, those few that we mentioned already, and then we can kind of
Right.
argue about the order afterward.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
kind of thinking, do we want to... By the way, guys, we're aping this format off of fucking Maximilian Dood.
That's right, Maximilian Dood, hack extraordinaire. I'm sure he'll eventually make one of these shitty Wii videos of his. I love the guy, no shade to him, but these ranking videos that he does with him and his friends are... They have the worst takes imaginable for these systems, I gotta say.
man.
Fucking doesn't put Luigi's Mansion or Thousand Year Door on the GameCube top 10
Really?
list. They're not even there for consideration. What the fuck are these hacks thinking? They're
Holy
probably gonna
shit.
put fucking Call of Duty for the Wii on their Wii list, okay?
Oh my
These
God.
fucking hack frauds. Anyway, going to
Do we want to do the exact same thing they did at this point, where we each eliminate 4 from our own list?
I think that's a good idea, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
Let's keep the same order. Dylan, you have to strike 1 from your own list.
Damn. That's kind of rough. Obviously, since mine's in, like, order, it'd be wrong for me to do one from the top. Let's go ahead and nix Twilight Princess, I guess.
Woof.
Yeah, loved the game. I'm sure I would have loved it a lot more if I finished it, you know, duh. But,
Okay, how about you, Jackson?
Yeah, Wii Sports, the original, is a classic. Everybody played it because it came with the fucking Wii. I played it a ton, but yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to go up to bat for that one.
yeah, unfortunately.
You guys are
Unintended.
You guys are nixing the absolute last ones I would expect you to nix.
I mean, listen, dude, I have my justification for Twilight Princess. I think it's understandable that I get rid of it.
Alright, Blake, if you have to eliminate 1 from your own list, what are you doing?
Probably RE4, just because like it's a little redundant on the Wii, like, and I can play it elsewhere.
Like on its computer, which he's been doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm thinking Dokapon Kingdom, I think is the obvious one.
Yeah, I think, like I said, for me and Nico, it might be a little more obvious what we're eliminating here.
I mean, no one else has even fucking heard of Dokapon Kingdom amongst
True,
you guys.
dude, true.
I can't put up a good fight for it.
Yeah.
I think the first one on mine I'm gonna get rid of is Poke Park.
Yeah, I think that's a valid one.
Boo! Boo!
Back to Dylan.
Yeah, as per obvious reasons, I think I'm just gonna have to... this might make it harder down the line, but I think I'd have to do Donkey Kong Country Returns. That gets rid of, like, one of the 3 that we have, but, you know.
I saw you posturing for that Sonic Colors there, Tanner.
Dude, I love Sonic Colors. That shit's so, like, pleasing to the eye to play. Love that shit. I love
I mean, I
Sonic.
feel like it makes sense if you're ranking them in order just to knock off them from the bottom.
Yeah.
Except for, like, Donkey Kong Country, like, that one had a chance of being on it because there was 3 fuckers that had it.
Yeah.
So shocking, honestly. Now we're
That's
down to
why I
2.
don't want to eliminate it, and I almost said Sonic Colors, and I think that's why Tanner was about ready to cross it off as well.
Yes.
You know what?
I'm reading your mind.
Actually, let's actually nix that. I'll actually go Sonic Colors just for the sake of Donkey Kong Country has other representation on this list.
Am I even...
Can you do a
Yeah,
backwards?
you can
do it backward.
there
Yeah, there
we
we
go.
go. Yeah, go ahead and get rid of Sonic Colors, I suppose. It's fine. I love the game. No
okay.
hate towards the game. This is for the sake of the list.
Don't you fucking dare, Tanner, you fucker. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Toy Story 3, I think, because I don't think anybody else played that game. The whole reason I like that game is because it had a really fun sandbox mode.
Yeah,
and I played
yeah.
the fuck out of that. It was very, very engaging for a wee lad such as myself, but yeah,
I'm kind of curious to try it now.
it's a fun time. Speaking of Blake, what are you knocking off next?
Probably Mario Kart, just because like there's so many versions of Mario Kart and I've never really fully
shit.
decided which one I like the best, but I do like the Wii one and I still
Damn.
play it to this day relatively regularly.
All my homies love Double Dash.
The Wii one is simply the best, though. It's the most chaotic. That shit's fucking crazy. I love
You
the
don't
Wii
even have
version,
it on
despite
your
not
list.
including it in my list. I probably should have. But
I do like it better than current Mario Kart on the Switch, I think.
I disagree with the it's more chaotic part. I have definitely experienced way more chaos in Super Mario Kart 8 than fucking Wii, but, you know, go on, King.
But the Wii was the one that really introduced the chaos.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go... I mean, no more heroes, I think.
Dude.
I'd like to put up a fight for it. I know it will fall on deaf ears amongst this crowd, though, so...
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna have to go with the approach on the rest of these, unfortunately.
Okay. See, I feel like the obvious one to me is to go Drawn to Life, but that one actually has someone else there with it.
Yeah, you've got Blake there.
Knock out GoldenEye.
No.
I'm curious to see what kind of argument you're gonna put up for that game, dude.
I'm gonna do... I'm gonna do Drawn to Life. That's the one that feels the most right to me.
I'm shocked you didn't go for Sonic Riders, honestly.
That'll probably be next.
Oh no. Alright, we're 2 down, we got 2 more to go. Super Paper Mario is a great game. I think the only other person here who might like it as much as me is probably Nico, and that's saying not so much. But again, it's the only one that any of us have. It's gonna be really hard for me to argue to keep this on the list.
Yeah, I guess the obvious one for me too is Resident Evil 4. Tanner, I'm not fucking knocking that one off. You can suck my dick.
Only one Lego game can survive it. It can't be yours, apparently.
Lego Indiana Jones 2 is objectively superior to Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga.
Wild take.
I gotta say, I was very worried when I saw both you and Blake had Resident Evil 4 on your list, because I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go for that game at some point and say, guys, I simply don't think it should make it, but glad you nixed it early, so I didn't have to do that.
Okay, Blake, what are you doing next?
Probably Wii Play.
That's fair. Fun game.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, to be honest.
Really?
It's just a minigame collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's cool for what it is, though.
Nintendo original.
I like it.
Alright, I'm thinking... this is real tough at this point.
Yeah, it is.
I don't really want to get rid of any of them.
Not even Wii Sports Resort, dude?
No, because I think that's a solid one. I'll knock off Return to Dreamland.
Really? Damn.
I mean, Blake and Jackson have it on their list, and I don't believe that they'll be taking it off anytime soon, so...
Fair enough,
Certainly
dude.
not.
Shocking, to me at least.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my next one Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
I swear you were either going to do that or Epic Mickey next. I was convinced it was one of those two. You must really have liked Epic Mickey, dude.
Dude, it's a fun game. It's very creative, has an awesome art style, and, sense of, not sense of something. It's art style, I guess.
I gotcha.
The world is really cool.
That's fair, dude. Fuck, dude. I guess I have to do one more. How many times does it show up? 3 times. 3 times, okay. I guess, despite it being my favorite over the others, and the fact that I will fight for some of these other games that are on my list, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Well, don't do that, Dylan. Come on, get rid of the first Galaxy. Galaxy 2 is way better.
It's on 2 other people's lists, though, dude. I don't think I'm gonna be able to...
Dude, I will join you in the fight to get Galaxy 2 over the first Galaxy
All
on
right,
this top
fine.
10.
Do it. Get rid of Galaxy 1. I'll keep Galaxy 2. I do think Galaxy 2 is far superior. Oh, there we go. That's creativity at its finest.
Personally, I'm gonna knock out Wii Sports Resort.
There we go. It finally happened.
And I can second that.
Holy shit. All right, Nico, you're next. Get it out of here.
I was kind of thinking about it.
Yeah? Are you following through? It's either that or Rayman Origins. That's the only... Like, these other games, I know you... Like, I know you. You like those games way more.
The other games I'd much prefer make it here.
Yeah.
Oh, Wii Sports Resort is so good too, though. Is the thing they
it's
do
really
make
good.
bowling worse somehow from the original Wii Sports?
It's because it tracks too much of your movement, so all the flaws and mistakes you were making in the first one shines through in this one.
The sword fighting game is so much fun, though.
Oh, that shit was
That's all
peak.
everyone cares about, dude. If it didn't have sword fighting, it'd be a B tier game.
For sure. Well, the plane game was good.
Fly around, I enjoyed that. That was
Oh
relaxing.
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, I think I have to knock off Rayman Origins. I don't want to at all. I think that those games are fantastic. I'm a big fan. It's a return to form for the Rayman series, which isn't true at all because the first Rayman is the only other 2D one outside of those new ones, and it's like in no way in the same style whatsoever. But I think it's very cool. It's an awesome, unique 2D platformer that has a bunch of amazing levels in it. Fantastic art style. But alas, I think that for what the Wii is, Wii Sports Resort is just more representative of, like, you know, the actual console itself and more important to it.
Fair
Dude,
enough,
Rayman
dude.
literally doesn't have limbs, though.
True.
Dude, I'm gonna say something fucking insane, and I dare you guys to come at me in the comments. Rayman Origins and Legends does the type of gameplay you would expect from a Sonic game better than any Sonic game.
I've never played a Rayman game. I cannot speak on
I
this.
think they're at. That's so. If you're talking about the older Sonic games, I can agree. I think of
talking
Sonic
about
Colors
all
when
of
you
them.
say that. I don't know. I think Sonic Colors be better.
I'm gonna eliminate Super Mario Sluggers from mine.
I think Sluggers. I think Sluggers is great, by the way. I'm a big fan of that too.
I agree.
There are a bunch of characters who are like only playable in that game, like the Pintos or whatever the fuck they're called. A bunch of just random Sunshine characters are playable in that shit, which is very fun.
Yeah, fun and challenging adventure mode. I agree, it's very good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and knock off Strikers and Epic Mickey as well. I don't think there is any chance I'd be able to argue them, so I'm just gonna get rid of them now.
Fair enough. I like Strikers. I think it's a fun game, but, you know, it didn't make my top 10 for a reason.
Yeah, it's very one note, even though that one note is pretty sweet. Do any of you guys want to follow suit at all and strike anything else from your list?
No, I think the rest of my games that are currently on my list deserve to be in the top 10.
Yeah, I also agree.
agree.
Mainly because half of mine are included on the other people's lists, so.
Right. I guess let's go one by one, choose one of the remaining ones on your list and make your pitch, and then we'll do a vote. 3 out of 5. It is in final consideration, and then we'll move from there.
Okay, so I think the easiest thing to do here is, like, you know, Donkey Kong Country Returns, I think
3
should
out of
just
5.
like hop on there automatically.
Yeah.
If anyone has an argument as to why it shouldn't, like, go
He's a
for
monkey,
it.
who cares? Not even a human.
Such a good game, though. I know it wasn't very high on my list, but that doesn't mean I loved it less. This shit was awesome.
I think it's great. This one actually is a return to form for the Donkey Kong series. Unlike what Rayman Origins was, this one is genuinely bringing the series back to its roots, you know?
Yes, sir.
After the horror that was Jungle Beat.
We had 3 of us pick Return to Dreamland. 2 of us think it's their favorite Wii game.
Yeah, I think that should also make it on
That's
there.
fair, dude. I mean, yeah, and even Nico had it on his list before he crossed it off, so that's valid. I can live with that.
I would want to argue against you guys, but it's a moot point.
I mean, let's hear it, dude. Let's hear what your argument against a charming, fun little Kirby game could be.
Listen, I agree. It's charming. It's fun. Personally, I find it kind of boring, just like I find all Kirby games boring. And it's just a bit too kiddie and easy and doesn't
You're saying it's
have...
easy, Tanner. Like, the only time you fucking played that game is when you came over to my place and we played on EX mode, and I was getting through the story. I was just trying to make my way through it. I was on the 6th world, okay, the metal place, making my way through it, trying to collect all the fucking little star bits or whatever so I could 100% it, and you just kept fucking dying constantly and wasted all my lives. You think that shit's easy?
Yes, Kirby games are easy games for babies.
You should have seen fucking Nico, Blake, and I play that shit on the Switch version and just eat shit fucking constantly.
Oh,
just
no.
non-stop dying on the fucking, not even EX mode, baby mode.
Damn.
It's because you all got to be kind of like synchronized too.
It is just a very silly game to play with people.
And I would say the same thing about Super Mario Bros. Is that, you know, when you're in multiplayer, you gotta all be kind of like synchronized, because if you go too far, it screws everything up.
Yeah, the host can be a fucking troll if they want to.
Okay, can we pick games that we want to eliminate from someone else's list here?
Oh, damn.
Sure.
Are we go? Okay.
Let's go aggro.
Yeah, Blake just reminded me. I want to get rid of Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Figured you might say that.
I'm gonna be honest, I agree.
It was on my honorable mention, but
We have had so many of these fucking new Super Mario Bros. Games at this point. The Wii just blends in with all of them. It doesn't really do anything unique from the others outside of... This one has the propeller cap. That's fun, right?
You can be Toad.
You can be Toad in the other ones, too! And, like, especially compared to the other 2D platformers we've already talked about, like Return to Dreamland... Fucking Donkey Kong Country Returns, Rayman Origins, I think it's worse than all of those.
But at least it's not as rehashed as the Super Luigi on the Wii U.
there's a Super
That's-
Luigi.
okay.
Super Luigi U was like a fun speedrunning take on the new Super Mario Bros. Series, though.
Yeah, but like, it was still a pretty rehashed idea.
I mean, yeah, it was just the same thing as the new Super Mario Bros. For Wii U. Just like, you know, they got rid of Mario, that dead weight, and they made the game faster.
Huh.
Yeah, I agree with Nico, especially because we already have two platformers in consideration.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think that's an issue. Dylan, I guess you're the tie point here because I assume Blake and I both want to keep it in.
I mean, listen, I liked the game. I've beaten it many times, but like...
Cross it off.
Are you actually done talking, Dylan?
I mean, it sounds like I don't need to say anything else. Jackson's already given up on the idea of
No,
keeping it.
I'm
So.
assuming that's you saying no, so like what's the point
That
of
is
you
me
giving the whole
saying. That is
spiel?
me saying no. I just figured I'd need to give some reason
No, I
behind
mean
it.
there's no argument here, I guess.
Okay.
I think it's a fun Mario game. It doesn't really get much deeper than that.
Yeah, it's
It's a fun Mario game amongst plenty of other fun Mario games that is just like...
okay.
I'm gonna propose knocking Super Mario Sports Mix out. Dylan, are you even going to object to this?
I kind of do, actually. Nico can attest to how much time I sunk into this game. I even went as far... I think if I go out and open the case right now, there is a handwritten note of how to unlock every character and every... Like, I committed to some shit. I loved I played this game all the time. I think there was a time period where Nico would come over and I played this game with him every single time. I loved this game. And it was like, it didn't even matter. Like, I obviously had my preferred ones. Like, I loved dodgeball. I thought that shit was awesome. Basketball was pretty good. Volleyball. And, what even was the other one? Like, soccer or some shit like that. Hockey. But, yeah, like, I just think... Because it's got the sports aspect that like Sluggers and like Strikers has, but obviously it has the diversity of the different sports, and then it also has the mini games inside of it where it's still the sport, but it's a twist. Like in basketball, you're taking fruit and you're shooting it into a Pita Piranha's like mouth for points. You're doing the musical aspect. The musical aspect one was my favorite. That was a volleyball take on it. And then also it's got like an integrated story where you go and play through it. And it's got like Final Fantasy sprinkled in there too. You get like Black Mage, White Mage, and all that shit too. Fucking
They
awesome.
do have the Final Fantasy characters in it. You can even play as some Dragon Quest characters as well, like the slime.
Yeah, and
My counter is, I think it is actually an inferior version of the Mario Sonic Olympic Games, and none of those have even been nominated.
I
Okay.
disagree with that statement.
I also disagree. I think it is better. I think there's more depth than those minigame collections.
Yeah. And also, on top of
Interesting.
that, once you clear through a sport, you can go back into it and discover alternate paths. And your goal is to, like, figure out the different pathing so you get a character or a different, like, line to where you unlock certain things. And there's things to do constantly. There's so much depth to the game. It's more than just a sports game. So
I guess I'll go over your head here. Nico, are you even gonna try and keep this one up, though?
No, I'm not. I don't think it should be
Yeah, I
on
didn't
here.
think so.
damn.
It was on my honorable mentions for a reason.
Yeah.
It's okay. I love this game though. Like, I cannot attest how much I played this game. It is insane how much time I sunk into this game. I clearly love it. So
I'm actually gonna go ahead push one for nomination. I think we should put Cave Story up there for
Based?
indie representation.
Based? Cave Story is such a good. Let me fucking break
Cave
it down
Story
for the
is
people
a
that.
good game as
Yeah,
well.
let me break it down for the people that don't know about Cave Story. It is, of course, a story about a robot boy that gets lost in a cave, and there's a bunch of these little fucking like mouse people, and they keep getting stolen by a fucking mad scientist, and we don't know why. And you kind of have to like discover the mystery as to why they keep getting taken. A bunch of really fun boss fights, a bunch of creative zones. It's a Metroidvania where you go through like basically just a big, not open world, but there's a bunch of different zones you can teleport around between them to progress the story. You get a bunch of different weapons and abilities and stuff as you go through. It's just a very fun, charming game with a touching story. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. Big fan.
Okay.
Highly recommend playing it. Supposedly, Nico says there's a website you can play it on for free. I don't know what the fuck that website is. Nico,
Yeah, so
I
the
guess hook you up
desktop
with that.
version of the game was actually completely free, and from what I hear, it's the best way to play it as well. I guess that they like added some shit into like the console releases that were weird or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I think it may have been a Flash game though, so you can no longer actually find it, unfortunately. But
You can still play K-Story Plus on Steam.
exactly.
Okay. Who, if anyone else, is backing us up on putting this one into the top 10?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with.
would like to. I think we're gonna need to take a bit of time with the other games first, though, just because, like.
I mean, let's nominate it, and then it could be knocked out.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm fine with
We
putting
can
it
have,
on the
we can
list.
have more than 9 in the nominations here.
Fantastic.
One thing I do want to say, just because it's kind of a popular pick, whether it was on the list or honorable mention, I think Mario Kart Wii should go on the list, just given that it was in 3 people's lists as well.
I agree.
Okay, because Nico did remember, how much he liked it. I don't remember. Nico, did you say you forgot to add it, or you just
Yeah, I
made
just
it to your
completely
honorable
forgot to add it
mentions?
to my list.
Okay,
That's funny.
so
Does anyone object to putting Wii up there, or Mario Kart Wii?
Fun fact: that's
I don't.
the Mario Kart that got me to not like Mario Karts. It's my least favorite Mario Kart.
Were you trying to play with the motion controls?
I don't fucking know how I was trying to play it. I just never enjoyed playing it.
okay.
Like some of the GameCube ones, I never liked the Wii one. I've never really enjoyed a Mario Kart since.
Okay,
Bummer.
so just because I'm already on a roll here, do we want to go ahead and have the Super Mario Galaxy vs. Galaxy 2 argument?
I do think that is the argument that has to happen.
Okay.
I have no stake in this game.
I never finished Galaxy 2.
Listen, so, because I get, it's kind of like Nico said, it's like, oh, they just took Mario Galaxy and made it more Mario Galaxy. That's kind of the point of continuing game series, is like, well, and if you take it to the extreme that Super Mario Bros. Did, where they just keep just adding random ass power-ups, but like, I feel like they took the dial from Galaxy and cranked it up in 2 because of they not only had the worlds, maybe not exactly that they had in the first ones, but then they went crazy with it and added, and expounded on those world ideas. And they added a few new power-ups. Yes, they had the addition of Yoshi, and I think they changed, and they even gave, Yoshi power-ups, but added even more diversity to the game than the first one had. And even in the second one, sure, they reintroduce you to concepts from the first one, but then you already know what you're doing, but then they add, some tweaks or, some, hidden things or whatever, just because they're taking your previous knowledge from the first one and having you utilize it in the second one. And, the first one was, awesome. It was a new, Mario experience for the most part. And I think that Galaxy 2 took that and made it more appealing and just, not only to the eye, but also just to the gaming senses and all that. And I think Galaxy 2 offers the same amount, if not more challenge than the first Mario Galaxy did, because they already knew what they were doing and they knew what they did right. And I feel like they just took those ideas and took them a little further in that game, which is why I think 2 is better than 1.
Dude is spitting bars. I couldn't say it better myself.
What'd you say, Jackson?
I said counterpoint, it's just more Mario Galaxy.
Fuck you, horror. Pick a new argument.
Okay, actual counterpoint. Galaxy 2 doesn't have Rosalina in it.
I mean,
Holy shit, it doesn't.
I don't think.
Wait, why does she matter?
She's hot.
It has Lubba instead.
Ugh.
I can't remember who that is for some
fucking
reason.
Disgusting.
He's the Rosalina of Galaxy 2.
What is the worst thing about each game?
They end.
The worst thing, honestly, I can't even say the worst thing about each of them because they both share this. The option for a second player, like, sure, it's there, but like, the fuck, why would you offer that? Like, I'd say the strongest thing that the second player could do is they could freeze objects in place, which is nice for like the boulder levels. But other than that, like, what the fuck is the second player doing? Like, either make it a two-player game where the second player is actually doing shit, or just don't make it a two-player game because they're basically doing nothing and watching you play the game the whole time. So I don't really have a negative for each. That's just both of them in general.
I guess the question really is, Blake, has Nico and Dylan convinced you to put Super Mario Galaxy 2 up there instead of the first one?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I might need to revisit it. I mean,
I don't think we have time for that.
Yeah, I know, but I'd say go ahead. I mean, it's been a while since I played either of them, so, you know. I think there's nothing wrong with Galaxy 2, though. It just does seem like more of the same, but there's also nothing inherently wrong with that either.
Here's the important thing about Galaxy 2, though. They remove a bunch of the shitty Wii motion control segments.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That is,
they made it so much
that
more
is kind of
streamlined.
nice, I guess.
Simplify it, makes everything better. Okay. I don't think we have any more unanimous unless we want to try to get Wii Sports Resort up there, but...
I don't.
No. I'll have an unfortunate pick to knock off here, that being Kirby's Epic Yarn.
No, man.
I also was not a huge fan of that game. I think if we're going to have Return to Dreamland on the list, I don't think we have room for two Kirbys here, especially because one is dramatically better than the other.
Yeah.
I mean,
personally.
I guess I don't have room to argue. I want it up there because it's my number 2 pick. So technically this would be my number 1 because Smash Bros. Is like unanimous between all of us. It's like I was saying before. I'm sure if I had played Return to Dreamland, which I think I might have at Nico's for like a hot second and enjoyed it, I think I may have liked it more than Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's just that Kirby's Epic Yarn is so cute and whimsy. It's very, like, the art style is very appealing. You got your power-ups. You got your variety in the levels. The replayability is nice. Like Nico said, there's no challenge because you have no health bars or something. I don't care. If I want to play a game with a health bar, I'll go find a game with a health bar. That's not the problem. So, but I don't think I'd be able to effectively argue Kirby's Epic Yarn to exist on the same one as Return to Dreamland when 3 other people have that on their list, and I have this one, so.
Truly saddening.
Great game, though. Recommend it. Oh, wait, you guys all hate it. Never mind.
I don't think Tanner's expressed his opinion on it, or Blake.
It's cute. Yeah.
It's fair, dude.
Blake, do you want to / think you can put up a strong defense for Drawn to Life?
Not necessarily, because, again, it's one of those things where I really played the DS one a lot more, but I still liked the Wii one.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Okay.
Sag. Oh, well, that makes this list a lot easier for the most part.
Let me put up an argument for my very last pick here. Let's really just fucking knock him out here, I guess. That being Lego Indiana Jones 2. And you guys might be saying, what puts Lego Indiana Jones 2 above other Lego games? And of course it has all the Lego game things you love. That being, it's just a fun time. It's got lots of humorous segments with cutscenes and things. It's just got fun, fast-paced gameplay. There's a lot of creativity with the Lego theme that they use, of course. But the big thing that this game has over other Lego games, to my knowledge, maybe Lego Star Wars has it, I don't think it does, which is why it's objectively better, is the sandbox mode. You guys probably know it's a theme with my list, is a lot of these games have sandbox modes, and that's a reason why I like them. And this game had a really fucking good sandbox mode. It had like terraforming, like basically had like a big square you could edit. You could put a bunch of like props from like levels and stuff in there. You could literally terraform the area, fucking fuck around with the terrain and stuff. Make your own like custom levels. It was really in depth for the time and for what it was. I played it so fucking much. It adds an absurd amount of replayability to an otherwise already very fun game with its just base story mode. It's just a really good time.
That's actually interesting. I had no idea it had like its whole big old sandbox mode in there.
The sandbox mode is so fucking sick. I played that shit so much. It's obscene.
I don't know if this is a valid way to go about this argument. The way I see it, I think a Lego game deserves to be on a top 10 Wii game list. And I think only one of them can be that one. So I'm going to counter with a defense of Lego Star Wars.
You can be a gonk droid. Fine, you got me.
You can be a gonk droid. Lego Star Wars has much more level diversity. It has more characters. It has funnier characters. It has more collectibles, actually. The hub world in Lego Star Wars, while more gameplay-wise limited, is just much more fun and interesting to me. I think it is a more fun game when you're playing with friends and whatnot. And I
consider the fact you can do the sandbox mode with your friends as well and play your custom levels with your friends. Anyways, go on.
Here's the unfortunate thing, Jackson. I think the sandbox mode in Lego Indiana Jones 2 sucks, actually, and I didn't like it at all.
I think that's because you just have no creativity and you couldn't make your own fun. You could only make hot garbage.
True. I also think the level design is just markedly worse in Lego Indiana Jones 2. Lego Indiana Jones 2 also has a bunch of hub-like worlds that just fucking suck. And I just think Lego Star Wars is an overall tighter and much more engaging package.
Personally, I have no major issues with the level design in general, and I like the hub worlds too. I spent a lot of time just fucking around in those hub worlds. So I don't know if I mean, it definitely has. I would say it definitely has, just from like a base game perspective, outside the sandbox, it has more content. But yeah, I don't know if I agree with much else of what you said. I guess we have the audience here. There's 3 of you guys. What are you guys voting for based on our arguments?
I'm gonna put this out now. I think the Lego games... I'm not gonna vote here. I guess I probably have to in the end. I just don't like Lego games. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've never liked them. They're boring.
That is shocking.
And I just
fucking love them all.
They're so gimmicky, and I just don't like it. And it is... I agree with Tanner. It's shocking considering I'm such a off-base gimmicky kind of guy. I don't like how they are gimmicky with the movies in these games. I do find them boring. If somebody asks me to play, I'll play it, but like I will get bored very quickly in playing these games. And also I kind of ruin it for myself when I play these games, because if anybody knows how I play it, I'm a fucking collector, and I will break everything breakable in a Lego game, which just draws it out to make it more boring, and I do it to myself, to be completely honest. However, it just draws out the game and it makes it boring, and I just don't enjoy it. I don't know if I've ever sat down and ever enjoyed playing a Lego game out of any of the ones that I've played. So
that's crazy.
Bro's never played Lego Batman for the PS3, and it shows.
I can't agree whether or not which one of the levels have better designs. I can't say which one the hubs are better. I don't know the validity of either of these things. You guys kind of just talked.
Do you like Batman, or do you like a Lego Star? Or do you like Star Wars? Oh my God, take number 3 here, or Indiana Jones more?
I guess the real question here, Dylan, is would you prefer to just have neither?
Personally, if it were up to me, I would say yes. I would like neither of them on the list. I don't like
agree with
Lego
Dylan.
games.
I would not like either of them on the list.
What the fuck?
What say you, Blake?
So, honestly, the only Lego game that I really spent a lot of time with was Indiana Jones on the 360. And that was pretty good, but I never really branched out into anything else.
Personally, I just see the Lego games as integral to the identity of the Wii as a console.
I mean,
I agree with my husband.
I don't see them as being that important to the Wii. I see them as more of like a PlayStation sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
I know for sure that these games exist on other consoles. I don't know if I'd say they're integral to the Wii.
I think are they the most popular on the Wii?
I don't know.
I feel like they have the most reach on the Wii, if anything.
Yeah, they definitely sold the most on the Wii, because the Wii is a more, for children system.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got 2 votes going on here, Blake. Do you think that either of these games, or just one of them in general, should be on the list, or are you saying just no to either?
I don't think I'm really in a position to say no to either of them.
Okay, so it's one of them's going on the list, boys. We're doing the redraw here.
All right.
Dylan, which one?
I'm also going to add, I think there is something to be said for the fact that Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga is the one that kind of set the formula for what a Lego game is.
And then Lego Indiana Jones refined it.
I gotta say, I guess Jackson's talking up Lego Indiana Jones a little better, so I guess I'm just gonna have to go with that one.
Okay, so Blake, I guess just to know if my vote even matters here, are you going for Lego Indiana Jones or Star Wars?
I'm gonna go Indiana Jones.
Okay.
You fuckers. I don't think either of these should be on the list.
I agree. I also agree.
Let's not swap this back here, Tanner, and vitriol. You can't be fucking laughing out at me like this.
If I can't have it, no, but it's because he's saving his juice for fucking GoldenEye 7. He's got to fight for his fucking life to get that shit on the list.
Facts, dude.
Get ready, Tanner. I know nothing of GoldenEye besides its fucking 007 James Bond, and it's crazy that you say that it's the best online Wii experience. The only Nico, you might know what I'm talking about. The only online Wii experience I'm familiar with, because they sold the fucking the adapter
The Wii
for
Zapper.
that shit. I knew that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. The only person I've ever seen play Wii Online multiplayer in a shooting game is a relative of Nico's, where I'd sit there for hours and watch them play, fucking Medal of Honor or whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember which one it was. I was enthralled by that. And obviously, he's swearing up a storm. It was funny, though. That's, the only time I've ever seen anybody play online besides Mario Kart. So...
Just for posterity, which one would you have voted for, Nico?
I think Star Wars.
Okay.
Hater.
We have 3 more slots remaining. Nico,
Yeah.
you get Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword.
What the fuck do you mean I get Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword?
That's such
These
a
are
wild...
Zelda games. These are fantastic Zelda games. What fucking game do you think deserves to be on this list more than either of those?
Wii Sports Resort.
I disagree, dude. I think that both Zelda games far deserve to be on here more than any Wii Sports game.
So you're crossing off Wii Sports Resort then?
Listen, I'd prefer Wii Sports Resort to be on here more than GoldenEye 007.
Well, here's the thing: is we're already exceeding the bounds of this list.
Let's do this. How many of us would vote for both Zelda games to be on the list?
I could arguably see both of them being on the list. Mostly because I played one of them and I've heard good things about Skyward Sword.
But do you think it's fair to have 2 Zelda games on the list, or should there only be 1?
I don't know where
Blake,
this whole...
by the way, you know about Zelda, right? You know how crazy and big and popular Zelda is and how quality and good those games are, right?
Yeah, I know it's got quite a big following.
You understand these games are massive, sprawling adventures that set you out on an amazing path to save the world and the Princess Zelda, correct?
Yeah, I mean, as far as should 1 or 2 be on the list, I'm kind of indifferent.
And you also
about it.
understand the fact that Lego Indiana Jones 2 is even in the discussion to be on the list more than either of these Zelda games is quite frankly a slap in the face to Miyamoto himself.
I agree with that
I mean,
statement.
I feel like probably at least one Zelda game should make it onto the list.
Agreed, but both should too, right?
Sure.
Bro is gaslighting
There
so
we
hard
go.
right
That's
now.
what I like
But
to hear.
again, I haven't played them.
Nico fucking coercing Blake into an answer.
Listen, I agree. No cap. Not even giving in to the coercing. I do agree that both the Zelda games should be in this list more than the Lego Indiana Jones. But
That is not the world we're living in, though.
I acknowledge
But
that.
it can be. We have not yet set in stone the Lego Indiana Jones 2 does, in fact, have to be here.
Can we just eliminate Wii Sports Resort? Can we just get rid of the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant?
Getting rid of Wii Sports Resort. I don't know if anybody's... Nico sounded like he was going to fight for it, but, Nico,
Let me look over what we actually have here first. So we have 12 games in contention. We have to remove 2 in order to make it a full top 10.
Yes.
So...
And you know for a fact that Tanner's gonna murder the competition to try to get fucking GoldenEye on the list, so...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think there are two obvious games that we remove here in order to get the rest of them to fit, you know?
I don't like where this is going because this is going to start the argument early, but let's hear it.
Tanner, do we really need GoldenEye on here?
Okay.
Here I'm going to sit back now. I'm just going to listen.
What is a top 10 list?
Oh my fucking god, here we go with the philosophy of shit.
Now, listen. I do not think this list is the 10 best Wii games. I think this is supposed to be the 10 games that we feel most represent the totality of the Wii as a console. And I think that GoldenEye 007 is the best multiplayer online experience on the Wii. It is also a shooter, which is not currently represented on the list. And it is a remake of a beloved Nintendo 64 game. And the adventure mode is kind of fun, but mostly it's the multiplayer. Excellent map design, very fun weapons, full lobbies from beginning of the release to the end of the console. I think it's just a blast, and having a multiplayer online shooter like GoldenEye deserves to be in this top 10. According to how I view a top 10 Wii games of all time lists purporting to represent.
You convinced me.
I'm not a like a shooter kind of guy on a Wii. Like, I don't...
Dude, I am the least shooter guy any of you have ever met, and I love this game.
I had never played it, but I do actually know a lot about the legacy of it, and I would agree with Tanner. It did actually have quite a big following, and it was a pretty... I don't know if I go out of my way to say revolutionary game for the time, but it definitely was very novel compared to the rest. So I'm not, honestly, I would go up to bat for it, unironically.
I think it's fair.
This is like the same vitriol I have towards the Lego games. I just don't like shooter games on the Wii. I think that shit's stupid.
You weren't big into Link's crossbow training, Dylan?
No. But like... I guess what I'm balancing in my head is GoldenEye over Wii Sports Resort at the very least. Like, I know it's for more than that right now, but like, am I thinking GoldenEye over Wii Sports Resort? And it's really hard to say yes, because I have such a good experience with Wii Sports Resort, and I didn't even know they made GoldenEye 007 for the Wii. So that's like the big discrepancy here right now. And like, also Wii Sports Resort was on two other people's lists, but like, they also got rid of it. Nico's not arguing for it, but also not willing to get rid of it, probably for the reason...
What's the argument? Everyone's played Wii Sports Resort. You know exactly what you're getting with him. What you're getting is a fantastic time.
Honestly, this is going to be crazy, and I didn't have a time to fucking say it previously, but I honestly prefer the original Wii Sports over Resort.
There's no fucking way.
Why?
I just like more of the games. Like, can I be honest? Wii Sports Resort, the only game I really liked playing was fucking Swordplay, and outside of that, I liked playing table tennis, I guess, but it just felt like a worse version of actual tennis in Wii Sports. And I really like playing tennis, I really like playing baseball, I really like playing bowling. Honestly, I even like the fucking boxing, and I also, of course, adored the entire game as a whole. Whereas, I think Wii Sports is fine, or Resort is fine, but yeah, honestly, I would have picked up Sports over Resort 9 times out of 10.
There's a certain charm to the OG one.
It's also, of course, just so ubiquitous for what the console is as a whole. Obviously, I'm not arguing for Wii Sports being on the list because I don't think I'm going to fucking get that, given it's already been crossed off. But like, I definitely think it's a tier above Resort. Personally, for me,
Resort also has so much of its own charm, though. They created their very own big-ass location that you can explore in Woohoo Island. That shit is amazing. You get to fly around it in your planes. You get to bicycle across it as well. You get to row around in it. You get to fucking just explore it in so many different ways, including in the sword fighting itself. You get to go into the volcano and fucking knock people into the lava. That shit is fantastic. I think that to say that Wii Sports Resort doesn't have like as much charm or character as the original Wii Sports is simple character assassination here, okay? I think it is fantastic. Just the way the game starts, when you first boot it up, you are fucking skydiving onto the island, which is just phenomenal.
Yes. Oh my god, I loved that shit. That was such a good intro to a game. For a game that doesn't have plot or story, they really make it feel like it's got plot and story, and that moment starts with you skydiving into the fucking island. That shit was awesome. I love that shit. I forgot about that.
Regardless of all of that, though, I agree. I think the setting is interesting, but it's really mostly just like a means to an end. If the gameplay of the actual minigames isn't that engaging to me as a whole, I'd rather, and I would say that I prefer Wii Sports gameplay over Resort. As previously stated, none of that particularly matters. Because, I think the setting's cool, but it's all just, it's a different way of presenting the fucking menu, so who cares?
It's not just the menus, though. All of the games take place at some location on the island that you can later find if you're doing, like, these other activities. You can, like, ride past the archery and stuff like that. You feel very immersed within this world.
I couldn't care less, though, if the gameplay isn't as fun to me. That's the big argument here for me.
For what it's worth, it also came back as a battle map for Mario Kart, the current Mario Kart.
That's right. They bring it back in other things. It's in Mario Kart, it's in Smash Bros.
I have to agree with Nico. He's hitting a lot of good points here. I think this is a peer-to-peer kind of thing. Like, I think we can enjoy games for different reasons, and Jackson, you just had a better experience as a whole with Wii Sports as compared to your maybe one, maybe two game modes in the other game that appealed to you, but you're liking Wii Sports more because of its, holistic experience. So, but I mean,
it's really just goes as deep as me saying I just like the gameplay of Wii Sports more than Resort. I don't think Resort's a bad game. I had lots of fun playing that game still, but I just had more fun playing Wii Sport.
Anyway, I think we got a little off the beaten path here. I think we need to get back to the core of this.
GoldenEye versus Wii Sports Resort. Blake, where do you think you fall? Would you prefer to have Wii Sports Resort or GoldenEye on the top 10 list?
Honestly, I haven't played GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But,
you heard my argument for it, though. This is tragic. I'm gonna be so fucking sad.
I'm with you, honestly. I mean, it's really hard to even.
I know that, like, in terms of like which game is more legendary, like, I know you can't really compare them. Like, obviously, GoldenEye is gonna be the more legendary game, but yeah, I mean, so objectively, I would say like GoldenEye should be on the list, like, as opposed to Wii Sports Resort.
Holy
Dude,
fucking
crazy.
based. He's clutching,
Dylan?
and that's 3 votes.
Listen, dude, it's like I said before my argument, it's really hard to judge a game that I've never played against a game that I loved, because me and Nico shared the exact same points here.
Dude, you can play as a woman named Anya Top.
Here's the problem at this point, though, is that now the vote is, regardless of what happens, the vote is 3-2. Me and Nico are heavily in favor of Wii Sports Resort for all of the reasons we've already listed. You guys are all for GoldenEye 7. I think it's hard to say, or I don't think it's hard to say which one is probably, just from an objective standpoint, is going to make it on the list. But I would say Wii Sports Resort for context.
Okay. If it's 3-2, I don't like, just fucking enforcing my will off of a 3-2 vote. Although I will point out Nico's the one who called for the GoldenEye versus Wii Sports Resort vote.
And he lost it.
Like I said, it's hard to... It's easy for you to defend the game because you've probably played both. For me, never experiencing GoldenEye, and in fact, the only GoldenEye experience I have is from N64, and I disliked it. I can't imagine that translating well to the Wii. And on top of that, not liking Wii shooter games. So, like, this is a really poor argument to have on my behalf. I would obviously choose Wii Sports Resort any day of the week.
Okay. Well, any final words, Nico?
Okay, so Wii Sports Resort versus Lego Indiana Jones 2.
Oh my god, it's already on the list. Why the fuck? Never mind, just go ahead.
And I think it's undeservedly so. Again,
I'm gonna bat for this one. I think a Lego game deserves to be up there. I don't think it's that Lego game, which I actually kind of dislike, but oh well.
Blake, this is coming down to you once more. Do you believe that Wii Sports Resort or Lego Indiana Jones 2 deserve to be on this list?
One's already, of course, already on the list, as we see.
Which
Well,
I think
I'm
undeservedly so. I don't think it should have gone up there yet. I feel like that should have just been a discussion between should we be talking about Lego Indiana Jones 2 or Lego Star Wars, but...
Alright, Blake, do you want a fully fledged story mode with a fun, creative sandbox mode you can play with all your friends for a large amount of time and a quirky story? You know, it's a great time. You know the Lego games, they're great. Or do you want a mini-games, a game where you play mini-games?
Well, I feel like in terms, like when you're talking about the Wii specifically, Wii Sports Resort is more representative of what the Wii is. Like, whereas Lego Indiana Jones, like, I mean, I can play that elsewhere.
Based,
Holy
Blake,
shit.
based.
God damn. He eviscerated you, dude.
I can play the fucking Wii Sports Resort on an emulator on my PC and...
That eliminates half the whimsy to it, dude. Fuck you.
Do they have motion control of that level working well on a PC at all?
Dude, if we have VR systems, I'm sure it's not hard.
I'm sure you can just do it all with a mouse.
Okay.
That's boring, though.
Okay, so Blake, it's sounding like you want Wii Sports Resort over Lego Indiana Jones 2 then, right?
Given the Wii, yes.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear, dude.
Dylan, do you agree with this sentiment?
Here's the thing. Right now, in the grand scheme of things, I'm viewing this as a GoldenEye v. Wii Sports Resort v. Lego Indiana Jones. And I have expressed my dislike for both GoldenEye and Lego Indiana Jones. I would, of course, put Wii Sports Resort up there before both of them. But I am not opposed to hearing an argument for either. I think right now, it's probably a little late for this.
You've heard the argument, so, like, where are you landing?
I would put Wii Sports Resort before Indiana Jones and GoldenEye 7. But I think we should have it's already on the list portion, and then a deciding list. That way it's like we don't have like these arguments in the middle of what should actually go up there. But
we're basically at how many...
We're currently at 12 games, so 2 need to be removed.
Yeah. My personal opinion, like I had said, just in case it wasn't clear, I prefer Wii Sports Resort over both Lego Indiana Jones 2 and GoldenEye. That is my personal opinion.
Okay, so GoldenEye got voted over Wii Sports Resort. Wii Sports Resort got voted over Lego Indiana Jones 2.
Yeah.
I guess Lego Indiana Jones 2 versus GoldenEye. Where do people vote?
This is fucked up, man.
I think in that instance, I would put GoldenEye over Lego Indiana Jones 2.
I disagree. At that point, I would actually put Lego Indiana Jones over GoldenEye. Like, I dislike the Lego game experience in general, but, like, I think I dislike the shooter aspect of the game more.
Jackson?
This is very hard for me because GoldenEye certainly has quite the legacy around it. I never played it though, so I do of course have a personal bias towards Lego Indiana Jones 2, which was a big part of my childhood. And I do still think that a Lego game should be on the top 10 just because of how influential the system was to their success as a genre. So I'm going to go ahead and probably say Lego Indiana Jones 2.
Okay, Blake, what do you think?
I'm still kind of leaning more towards like GoldenEye just because of the legacy of it.
You did describe it as a much more legendary game as well.
Now, what's funny is between GoldenEye and Lego, I'd actually lean Lego. So, GoldenEye beats Resort, Resort beats Lego, but Lego beats GoldenEye.
This is fucking stupid.
We can get rid of Cave Story.
No, we fucking
I
can't,
don't think we
Rock.
should get rid of Cave Story. Let's not do anything drastic here.
I'm just saying, I don't know anything about that game.
Cave Story's fucking peak.
It's fun and charming.
Let's go for the other odd one out here.
Do we just strike both Wii Sports Resort and Lego Indiana Jones from the list?
It's a circular tie of them all beating each other, though. I don't think you have a basis to say that.
What if I concede Wii Sports Resort under the condition that Lego Indiana Jones gets removed?
I don't think that works because in that case, if we eliminate Wii Sports Resort, Lego Indiana Jones still beats GoldenEye.
How are we all feeling about my deal here, though? What are we thinking?
I don't
Do
like
that,
it.
and you only get one Zelda.
Well, we can't do that.
Let me say real quick. I'm gonna fight for you to get Xenoblade up there.
I like to hear that. However, Tanner, we have 12 games. We only need to eliminate 2. So,
Might I also
if
offer...
we get rid of both Wii Sports Resort and Lego Indiana Jones, then that's the top 10 right there.
Let me also offer, out of all of the lists, so my list was mostly based on unanimous votes, and also just strikeouts. I think Nico's list has suffered the least amount of casualties in the aspect of unanimous and also strikeouts.
I wasn't going to point that out.
So,
clearly he has 4 left.
He's got 4 picks left because he either wasn't unanimous.
Peak. That's why they're on here. But, as I said, I'm willing to give up Wii Sports Resort here.
Yeah, I'm willing to give up the lesser of all these other random ones.
Random ones? You mean peak amazing experiences?
Personally, I don't like Resort as much as Wii Sports, but I put Resort over any of those other 3 because I've never played any of them and I have no idea about any of them.
Here's the other issue, though, saying this, is, we're trying to be objective with this list, but, obviously we're being subjective if we're trying to think that everybody needs a fair shot at getting one of their games on the list, so I don't think...
I don't think we need that.
I don't think we're
that's
going for that at all.
So, I'm only saying that because that immediately nullifies my prior statement of I think Nico should have more eliminated from his list just because he hasn't had as many, so I'm just trying to cancel out that effect. I don't know. I honestly, if it were up to me, it would have to be Wii Sports Resort and one other game would have to be eliminated, and obviously based on bias I wouldn't choose a game from Nico's list given the fact I haven't played Skyward Sword or Xenoblade Chronicles.
I feel like it's Wii Sports Resort and one of the Zeldas we cut out, and that's just easy right there. I agree with
that.
Nico, would you much rather play Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword? I get they're both great games, and Twilight Princess was a great time. I didn't play Skyward Sword, but I know it was a hella popular game, so I figured you'd probably choose Skyward Sword over Twilight Princess.
I would prefer Skyward Sword. However, I resent the fact that anyone would want to knock Twilight Princess off over something like Lego Indiana Jones. Are you people crazy?
I mean, listen, dude, I eliminated Twilight Princess at the beginning of this video, but that's
Twilight
also,
Princess
like I said,
is an amazing experience, though.
I know, and I wish I had finished it, and I probably would be here to back you up about it. I just cannot do that as effectively. I remember having a great time with it. Like I said, I think the experience would be massively enhanced if I had actually beaten the game.
This also, of course, goes down to how we're specifically looking at or ranking this as well. I do kind of agree with what we're looking at. We're looking at, games that define the Wii as a console rather than, what are, objectively the best 10 games, aka how Tanner described it previously. And I feel like having two games of the
I agree, and thus I don't
franchise.
think that Lego Indiana Jones should be here since it's available on fucking everything.
I've already given my defenses as to it throwing up the Lego games as a whole. Personally, I would disagree with that sentiment. And I just think that it doesn't make sense to have two games from the same franchise. I think it makes more sense to have one that is, the best from the console.
Hey,
Okay.
Never mind. I'll get to that in a minute.
What about this? Do we think that we could agree that if we did a top 10 GameCube games, that Twilight Princess would make it onto that list?
I mean, can I base it off my experience on the Wii? Because I didn't know it was on GameCube until a couple months ago.
Here's the problem, Nico. If we did a top 10 GameCube games, I would argue for Wind Waker over Twilight Princess.
I mean, yeah, of course. I think that's obvious. However, I think they should both be on the list. Tanner, are you going to say you don't think that Twilight Princess should be on the GameCube list either? It just shouldn't be on either?
Well, hold on. Here, I think Twilight Princess over Skyward Sword.
I don't care which Zelda we knock out, personally.
Dude, after Wii Sports Resort and Twilight Princess, I don't have a horse in this race. I'm feeling kind of like I don't know how to argue for these games anymore, dude. I've given my opinion on both of them.
Okay.
How about we knock out Wii Sports Resort and Skyward Sword because Twilight Princess was on the list twice?
Well, hang on. Okay, how about this? We're knocking off Wii Sports Resort. I concede it. It's gone now, Tanner. Wipe it off the face of the earth. Obliterate it. Eviscerate that shit.
God.
Blake, your thoughts here. Do you think that either of the Zelda games should be on the list more than Lego Indiana Jones?
Probably, just because I associate Zelda with Nintendo more than I do Lego. But that being said, Lego is still it's still going to be aimed at the same audience that the Wii as a console is.
Let's just get an air from the audience here in general. So I think it's both Tanner and I are saying Lego over having two Zelda games here. Dylan, what are you thinking yourself? Are you on Nico's side with having both Zelda games on it?
I've personally played
over
Twilight
Lego Indiana Jones 2, of course.
Well, I mean, you can look at it as over any of the games that are on the list currently.
This is how many Zeldas each person wants.
Oh, I see. Listen, I'm gonna keep going back to this. I don't find the Lego games an enjoyable experience. Even with the minimal time I spent on Twilight Princess, I have enjoyed it more than a Lego game.
But
I'm glad to hear it.
Is that you saying you think both?
I personally
Zelda
haven't played
games should be up
Skyward
there?
Sword, but, like, considering the popularity I know of Skyward Sword, I get that the Lego games are also popular, but, like, I feel like Zelda is more so, and I also agree with the point of...
I don't know if that's true.
Dude, I can play Lego anything on my Xbox. I can turn it on right now and go to my Game Pass and play a Lego game. It's not
You're
hard.
making an argument against your position right now.
I think both the
That's
Zelda
not
games
true at
should
all.
be up
He's
there.
saying the Lego games are just a dime a dozen. You can play them anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas a
He
Zelda game
also
is a much
said-
more unique
hold on,
experience
the
to
argument
the
was
console.
which was more popular, and then he started mentioning how Lego is available more places.
Oh,
What I'm
gotcha.
trying to say with this argument is I think both the Zelda games should be on here because you can't play Zelda anywhere else. What I'm trying to say is they should be on this list because I can just go play this on another console. It doesn't have to be on the Wii.
All right, and I hold that same position.
Okay.
That seems like a solid argument.
There we go. So, Blake, this means we're not going to Indiana Jones, right?
Hold on a second. Now, I'm gonna throw out here. We have 3 platformers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think we should eliminate if we're gonna include 2 Zeldas. I would rather get rid of one of the platformers instead of Lego Indiana Jones 2.
As long as it's not Cave Story, I'm game for this. I don't care about either of the platformers.
What would you
gonna have to
consider
try Cave Story.
platformers? I'm guessing you're thinking of Super Mario Galaxy, Return to Dreamland, and Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Yeah, the platformers.
I'm just making sure we're clear
But,
on
like,
that.
aren't the Lego games also platformers?
They're
No.
3D platformers.
I mean, so is Super
They-
Mario Galaxy.
I do not think they are platformers.
You don't do a lot of, like, parkour type shit. It's mostly just kind of running around whacking people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more of a
boring-ass
beat 'em up
gameplay
than
that gets
anything.
stale after a couple of hours.
The game's
No
stale after
whimsy.
15 minutes.
No whimsy.
Jax, you have no room to say no whimsy. We've had this discussion before.
I have
No
so much
whimsy.
whimsy. I'm overflowing with whimsy.
If it were up to me, I'd say put both the Zelda games on there and take off the Indiana Jones. But obviously, I don't have as much of a say. But that's my personal
Right.
opinion.
I guess in a last-ditch coup attempt, Dylan, would you put Xenoblade Chronicles up there?
Yeah, Nico's talked it up. I actually almost bought the game and played it because of how much Nico talked it up.
The coup has failed.
I don't know fucking anything about Xenoblade Chronicles. Nico handed me the game to get me to play it, presumably because he's trying to win favor for it being on this list.
That's not why. I think it's a legitimately good game that you would love.
I think having RPG representation on the list is important, and Xenoblade Chronicles is the best RPG on the Wii.
Are Zelda games not RPGs?
No.
Not in the way I'm thinking of them.
Xenoblade is a JRPG.
Yeah.
There we go, that's the difference. One is a J.
I see I don't know where to proceed from here because I just so fundamentally disagree with having 2 games from the same franchise.
I mean, it sounds like me, Dylan, and Blake are all in favor of knocking out Lego Indiana Jones.
Here's the other thing you need to consider here, Tanner. I get that you're saying, 2 games from the same franchise. You do understand that, like, Nintendo has its major franchises for a reason, right?
What is...
So,
I
like,
guess
what is...
on. Where's this argument going?
That's like... So saying you don't want 2 Zelda games up there is like saying we shouldn't have Super Mario Galaxy and Mario Kart Wii up there and Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's...
those are like fundamentally different games. One's a racing game with a bunch of random fucking shit in it. I don't even think it's like explicitly just like Mario characters. I think they have like other Nintendo characters too. And then one's, a more general Mario game.
What I'm trying to say, though, is, like, saying that we shouldn't have 2 of the same... like 2 Zelda games up there is like saying we shouldn't have 2 Mario games up there. It's fucking Nintendo. What do you expect?
But no, because Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword have much more I mean games in the same Zelda franchise. Like Mario Kart games are not Mario games; they are Mario Kart games.
Yes, however, you're saying in the same franchise. We're talking about the Zelda franchise here, though. One of the biggest, most critically acclaimed franchises in the world.
You think a game that aired on the fucking GameCube deserves to also be on a Wii one? Because you put it on both, presumably. Which I don't know if I would agree is valid.
I think if a game is popular enough to make it onto two different consoles and be popular both times, says a lot about the game.
We're talking about, like, representative games of, like, the console, though. I feel like it makes sense for it to be on the one it aired on.
I mean, Twilight Princess, I believe, released on both at the same time. I think. Don't quote me on that. They released, like, super close to one another either way. So, you know, I see it equally as much of a Wii game as I do a GameCube game.
Again, like, my thing is, with how I have expressed what I think a top 10 games is, where it's, you know, a representative of the experiences you can have on the console, I think putting two games that, at their foundation level, are, you know...
Are phenomenal.
Yes, no one is contesting they're both very good.
We've reached an impasse here.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
I mean... I don't necessarily think we really have, because three of us agree that the Zelda games should make it and knock off Lego Indiana Jones.
We could knock out something else here, potentially. We never really, like, circled back to that idea.
Do we still we just need to eliminate one more game for this to be fine, right?
Yes, one more game needs to be removed.
Either knock one off the current list or knock one off, you know, the options.
I know I've put up a lot of shit for, like, saying we don't need Lego Indiana Jones or GoldenEye, but, like, honestly, I think at the end of the day, Tanner has a very substantial point. I think we just need to choose one of the Zelda games, honestly. I think that's the best option. I don't see this argument going any other way.
I don't think it's necessary, though, because three of us agree that the Zelda games should stay.
Unfortunately, now it's just two of you guys that agree.
That's because you two have been waiting for so long and forcing Dylan to be like, I guess I'll concede the majority
you guys
rules
made
here.
him concede, now I'm losing and I have to
gerrymandering has worked.
Well, but here's the thing, though, dude. It's like...
We're actually filibustering, but...
Sure, yeah, that's what I meant.
Here's the problem. Here's my thought process here, is the more I think about it, the more logically sound it makes sense, where it's just like GoldenEye, not only was it a different experience for Tanner, he truly believes that in the shooter aspect of the Wii world, this was one of the best ones. I'm assuming the facts of, like, the servers being populated at all times says, as an attest to, how popular it was. I get, like... at the same time, and I know I don't like Lego games, I do think they have a very solid standing on the Wii. I think the whole fact of saying you can play it on any other console, I think that can also be seen as, like, such a throwaway argument. I think that since
it does, because it's not representative of what the Wii is at that point. You can play it fucking anywhere. It's representative of any console. I associate more with, like, the PlayStation.
I mean, you can associate it with whatever the fuck you want. I associate it with the Wii. This is the exact same argument. Yeah. I mean, the big thing, too, is we don't have to...
family-friendly game, collectathon, popular characters... I'm just saying.
You also just have to look at it from the fact that, like, your argument kind of just makes it seem like this should just be, like, a bunch of Nintendo first-party exclusives, which I feel like is a bad way of looking at it.
I don't agree with that either. I think it should just be what are the best games on the console, and I don't think that any of the Lego games are that.
Well, if you don't think that, so far, it's only Nintendo console exclusives, and Lego would be the only...
Well, no, Cave Story's on there, too.
Multi-console... Huh? Oh, Cave Story was on other... Well, that's an indie representative. Lego is a third-party representative.
I'm not entirely sure how that invalidates what I just said, but...
So what Zelda game are we knocking off, boys?
I'm just so mentally conceited from this argument at this point. We still have to rank these from 1 to 10. We haven't even done that. We are almost 2 hours into this video.
Let's go ahead and get right to that. Dylan, Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess?
I have personal experience with Twilight Princess, so I'm gonna have to just go with that one.
Okay, Jackson.
I'm also saying Twilight Princess because I think it's a cooler name.
Blake, Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword?
Twilight Princess, because I've heard more about it.
I also would vote Twilight Princess.
Let it be known that these men just completely disregarded Blake's takes, as well as Dylan and I, of wanting to get rid of the shitty-ass Lego game and just drew this out until they could eventually get one to be like, okay, it's been almost 2 hours. I guess we just need to keep the ball rolling at this point.
I mean,
fine.
Nico be like, I lost. I'm annoyed.
I didn't even lose, though.
You
That's
did,
the thing
you did
here.
lose. You lost the argument over 2 Zeldas over
I lost
Lego
the argument
Indiana
that
Jones.
drug out far longer than it needed to be, when, like, every other time, we were like, okay, we got the votes, let's move on. Whereas for this one, we're like,
'Cause I had a
okay,
stake in
hang
this
on,
fucking
guys,
game,
let's
buddy.
wait 20 more minutes. Okay, are we sure? Hang on. Let's get those votes again. Are we sure? Ooh, I still don't like the result. Hang on, guys, let's retally it again.
Hope and seethe.
That's literally how it played out, though.
Okay. Okay. Do we want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
I think
Actually,
top
let me
to
just say
bottom.
that. Does anyone disagree with Mario Kart Wii being the number 2?
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
I would put Return to Dreamland.
Yeah,
I would personally put
Return to Dreamland.
Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I could see either of those being second place, so...
Either of those meaning Return to Dreamland or Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, either one of those two
Okay.
could be number 2 for me.
Nico, how do you feel about Return to Dreamland being number 2?
No, I don't think it should be. I'd prefer Donkey Kong Country.
I guess between those two, I would also prefer Donkey Kong Country.
Let's go, it's number 2 then. And I guess that makes Return to Dreamland number 3, yeah?
Yeah, do we want to say that, or are there arguments against that?
I think there's enough votes to say Return to Dreamland would be number 3. I think
I would
that's
also
pretty safe to
prefer
say.
to have Return to Dreamland lower.
Hater.
Interesting.
I would too, but I think there is enough enthusiasm for it.
We got 2 people. 2 out of the 5 of us think this is the number 1 game on the Wii.
Yeah.
I got beat out by Kirby's Epic Yarn. I have no stake in this argument.
It's if you liked Kirby's Epic Yarn, you'd love Return to
I'm
Dreamland.
sure I would. I like I said, no hate towards the game. I'm sure I'd love it if I played it.
When you come down here to pick up your water bottle, you can pick up my copy of Return to Dreamland for the Switch.
Holy smokes, dude, I just might. Alright, I think this is Mario Kart Wii. Is anybody opposed to that?
I think it should be
Yes.
Xenoblade.
Okay, being the only person who thinks that, why do you think that is the case over all of these other games?
I mean, it's just a phenomenal game. It's my favorite game on the Wii. Quite frankly, here's the thing about Xenoblade, okay? I think that Xenoblade embodies basically everything that I hate in a video game, quite frankly, and yet I still love it despite all of that. Xenoblade has that shitty-ass MMO style of fighting that I just fucking loathe. It also has a large, sprawling open world that, albeit very beautiful, the movement for it is not that fantastic. It's very basic. You don't really have fun movement to explore the world with. But despite that, I still love it, okay? This is a phenomenal game, amazing story, truly gripping, and I think that it deserves to be as high up as it possibly can.
I don't think number 4 is as high up as possible, to be honest.
I think with its popularity, I think Mario Kart Wii, I mean, what, 3 of us had that? Is anybody who also voted Mario Kart Wii? Nico also thought Mario Kart Wii was phenomenal. Does anybody think that it should go over Xenoblade Chronicles?
No.
No.
Is anybody opposed to putting...
I would prefer Xenoblade Chronicles over Mario Kart Wii, but that's mostly because I put Mario Kart at number 10.
That's fair, dude.
Blake, Xenoblade or Mario Kart Wii?
I mean, I actually haven't played Xenoblade, but I'd like to try it, considering what Nico has said about it. But I guess for now, I'm still gonna have to put Mario Kart ahead of it just because I've played that so much.
Fair enough.
Now, are we going to do him the courtesy of putting it at number 5?
Personally, I think Twilight Princess should go at number 5.
Yeah, I feel like a Zelda game should go pretty high.
Nico, this one's on you.
I mean, I prefer Xenoblade to be number 5, but we can make it Twilight Princess.
I would personally put Twilight Princess, but I would not be opposed to Xenoblade Chronicles being there.
I know more about Twilight Princess than I know more about Xenoblade, and that's 0 knowledge for both of them.
Okay.
And thus my vote means so much.
Alright, so does that mean we're putting Xenoblade next?
I mean, you gotta, right?
I'm
I guess
fine
at this
with
point.
Xenoblade at 6.
Okay.
Sure. It gets dicey on these last 4, though.
Which is weird because, you know, you'd think it'd get dicey as we work our way up, not down. But here we are.
personally, this is going to be some fucking crazy cope from me, potentially, but I think Cave Story is fucking amazing, and I would put it at number 7 here.
I'm
Yeah, I
fine
can
with
agree.
that.
Other options. Okay, never mind. That was much easier than I anticipated it being. You guys can get whatever the fuck you want for the rest of them.
I'm gonna put Super Mario Galaxy 2 next, personally.
I can agree with that too.
Yeah, that sounds fine for me. Honestly, I'm surprised it's this low.
I am too, but I think I'm out of argument fuel, dude. I don't think, and to be fair, the
You guys
first, like,
tuckered him out.
the first, like, 4 are pretty unanimous. The 5th one was, like, hard fought for, and, like, also me and Nico both had it. I think it'd be hard to, like, get Super Mario Galaxy 2 above, like, people's, like, top games. I think that's a bit of a stretch, to be completely honest.
And I feel like it's pretty easy for us to say that it's GoldenEye and then Lego Indiana Jones. Or
Yeah, I
was
think
there-
so.
Probably say
Yeah, I
that is the
agree.
case. You know what, though? I don't think this should be viewed as a defeat in any way. I think the fact that they even made it to the top 10, given the fact that we've gone on this long, is enough testament to how good these games are.
Yeah, and just a massive asterisk here. Lego? For real? Like, come on.
This was a hard-fought battle, but, Jesus Christ, here we are. Oh my god.
Okay, so what we have in order from best to worst is Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Return to Dreamland, or Kirby Return to Dreamland, Mario Kart Wii, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Xenoblade Chronicles, Cave Story, Super Mario Galaxy 2, GoldenEye, 007, and Lego Indiana Jones 2. Is there any other changes anyone would want to make?
This seems fine to me.
This sounds, like, actually really good. I am baffled. It took us more time to create the top 10 than it did for us to decide which order they need to go in.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
No.
Let's not
Actually, that
do
might be a funny twist.
See what ChatGPT says about our personalities based on this list.
I think
That'd
we're
be
all
funny.
based.
I like platformers, apparently, is the long and short of it.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
a lot of platformers on this list.
I do, but I also like my racing games, dude. Fucking awesome. And sports, I guess. I don't
You
know.
like racing games?
I like Mario Kart. Let me be
Okay,
clear.
let's. Oh, that's. I'm glad you clarified there, buddy. Given all your fucking vitriol towards them
Burnout Revenge,
previously.
dude. Burnout Revenge. That shit's also peak.
Okay, folks, there you have it. The top 10 Wii games of all time. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Kirby Return to Dreamland, Mario Kart Wii, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Xenoblade Chronicles, Cave Story, Super Mario Galaxy 2, GoldenEye, 007, and Lego Indiana Jones 2.
Dude. Oh my god.
What an amazing and non-contentious list whatsoever. I can't wait to talk about even more non-contentious things over at Guapish at the Movies.
Guapish at the Movies. I bless the rains down in Africa. That song wasn't in Rain Man, but there was a lot of weirdly African music in that movie.
Dude. What did we watch this week, guys?
Sorry, I was fucking exiting Blake out. He's leaving us now.
Okay.
Of course, the Patreon pick this week was the 1988 film. Gosh, this movie's a lot older than I thought it was for some reason. Rain Man, as requested by Kyler on Patreon. Whatever the fuck your name is on Patreon. Thank you for the request. Tanner, you want to talk about it?
Sure, Rain Man is the story of a yuppie white boy whose father dies. And he finds out through some inheritance shenanigans that he has a savant brother who's older than him. And he decides to kidnap that brother in order to try and get the money. And then he learns to love his brother who has mental issues. And he wins some money, and then the movie ends, and it's a nice heartfelt time. Fun fact... Raymond originally was going to be like normal mentally disabled, but Dustin Hoffman insisted that he be a savant, which led to the original director leaving the film.
That's funny.
Wow.
That's insane, quite frankly. Yeah, personally, I really enjoyed this
Well,
movie.
hang on here, Dylan.
I'm trying to give my rank.
I also want to give my rank, though.
Go for it, dude. I'm surprised
gave
you
it
don't
an
want me to
A.
go first based on the last time we did this.
I liked this movie a lot. I gave it an A.
Okay, I'm gonna go now.
Okay.
I put a lot of thought into this movie. There's a lot of underlying themes and some really heartfelt moments that go on in this movie, and it touched me very, very much. I liked it a lot. I gave it an S-.
I'll go next, I guess. I'm not going to describe anything here. I am hoping you guys prove me wrong with my opinion on this film. That's all I'll say. I gave it a
Okay.
B.
Holy shit.
Yikes. I gave it an A+.
Yeah, okay. I'm not too far off base then. I thought I was going to be fucking out there, but I'm glad to hear, besides Jackson, I'm not too far out there.
Yeah, definitely not. So, Jackson, you're the lowest on this film by far. Why do you think that is? How'd you feel about this one?
So this is a very emotional story, and a big part of what makes it emotional is just the development between our two main characters. And I'm going to be honest, I just didn't really like the development of the main character. He never really feels like he gets a crazy good character arc or anything. It just kind of like, he figures out he can make money by fucking having his brother use his ability to make money in Las Vegas, and then that like basically just flips a switch where he's like, okay, this guy's kind of alright, he's maybe 80 grand, hell yeah, wherever much money he made him. And then he was like kind of just cool with him after that, and it just felt very unnatural. It felt kind of scummy, like, oh yeah, I can use him now. And that basically just kind of just proves what he is as a character, just some fucking dickbag. And I just don't really feel like his characterization was supernatural personally. And that really detracted from the movie a lot, just because that's like the whole setup. I can't really believe all of these scenes that talk about him, you know, giving up Raymond potentially without taking any money. It just doesn't seem believable to me. It all seems very forced. And that detracted. Of course, I think the big thing that pulls this movie up for me is just Raymond's actor. Jesus Christ, he did an incredible job. The acting was superb throughout the entire movie. It really did feel like he was just some fucking deeply autistic man. Savant. And that also, of course, goes into my next criticism is just, this is a bit meta of a criticism, but just
You
like
hate
how this
autistic
movie...
people.
No, it's just the way they portrayed this movie, and this isn't even necessarily like a huge issue with the movie. This is more of a minor nitpick, I would say, but it's just the choice of them making him a savant in the first place kind of put autistic people in like a very specific light at the time. Like, this is the 80s. Autism wasn't really like a big thing. It wasn't like a super known thing, and it unfortunately had the side effect of most people just assuming if you were autistic you were some fucking super genius in some way, when, you know, a lot of people it's very benign or not severe, or, you know, basically nobody is a true savant. It's a very rare phenomenon, and you know, I just don't particularly like that it had that side effect, unfortunately. Other than that, I thought the movie was it was entertaining, but like I didn't think it was anything super special. The cinematography was whatever. It's an 80s movie. I think it was trying its best for the time, but some of the shots just look fucking bad. It was just kind of whatever to me.
Well, what I'm going to say is going to sound weird. I 100% agree with your takeaway from the movie. However, I remember thinking throughout the movie, it's like, okay, he's using his brother, he's in it for the money, this dude's in over his head with debt and shit, he's got a business to run, he's got all this shit going on, he's a stressed out guy, there's a lot of fucked up things in his life. But I kind of had the thought process in mind of this is going to be a character arc of a guy who's pretty scummy in the beginning and learns through random events throughout the movie that he learns to become a better person, which I guess you could say is cliche, but, you know, whatever. I think this movie did it very well. I agree the acting is superb. It's very good. There were a lot of awkward shots in this movie. I agree with that as well. I thought that his character was coming to a resolution up to the Vegas point, and then when I saw he was turning around because he thought he could make a lot of money, I was like, okay, let's see what happens here, because I thought maybe he'd like make a choice, but he ended up not, and using his brother to make a lot of money. But I think almost that was intentional with the movie. I think they were trying to portray that because the movie was trying to give you hope that the main character was changing as a person, but then clearly by his actions shown by going back to Vegas and winning a ton of money, he was wrong. But I also just... It's like chipping away at armor. I think he's still trying to hold on to the person he used to be. And I think the change in his character wasn't super obvious. It's not super surface level like we see in a lot of movies like this. I think it changed him, but like in his own way. Like, he kept his mannerisms, he kept his personality, but truly inside was a changed person, because he's willing to take care of his brother because he took like some kind of bond. And I think that one thing they were trying to allude to at the end there as well was he's not really a changed person. What all did he do? And I kind of felt it come out at the end there where he's like, no, like, I genuinely have a connection with my brother. We got along. I take care of him. We figured things out. We were having fun. We had a good time. And then they turned the script. They flipped the script a little bit and were like, okay, Raymond, they basically asked him questions and just kind of went to show that our main character, that everything he experienced, he does not experience it the same way that we do. So it may have seemed like you guys were getting along and having a good time, but this is all completely irrelevant to a guy like him. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I did tear up a little bit at the end when they said goodbye and parted ways on the train, and I like it stuck with me. And yeah, I agree, it's not super obvious that he changed, but I feel like in his own way, and it honestly added a personal touch to the movie for doing it this way. In his own way, he changed, and he was trying to figure out, ways to become a better person. Because I do truly believe at the end, it wasn't even about the money anymore. He didn't even want it. He discovered that what he wanted and needed was family. And because, he's alone in this world. He doesn't have his mom. He doesn't have his dad. His brother is the only family he has left. And that, to a lot of people, is very important. And I think it's shown through at the end.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack with that. I guess immediately I'll just address your final point. I do like the brother thing. He does have frustrations early on in the movie about not being told that he does have a brother, and of course that is also something that he seemed very emotional on at the end. But the big thing here with me is that, yes, I see that he did change as a person. I don't think he's faking it or anything at the end. I do think he has a bond with his brother at the end. I just think that the evolution of his character isn't well done, specifically just because of the fact that it seems like it really coalesces with him flipping around on his opinion of his brother by him using him to gamble in Las Vegas. I just think that's insanely scummy, honestly, that he would do that. Like, granted, it worked. Maybe he's having fun. I don't know. It's hard to say. We can't really know what's inside of Raymond's mind. But, like, it just seems fucked up, honestly, and they play it off straight. And, like, he's just basically using his brother to make money, and that makes him have a positive opinion. That's kind of what I took away from it. I think there's, minor things of him getting used to his brother being around because he has to be with him 24/7. It just doesn't feel like it's natural enough of an evolution. And then a big thing with that, too, I didn't address this previously, but he's just a fucking dickbag. He's just a bad person throughout most of this movie. He's a complete fucking asshole to his girlfriend. He's an asshole to Raymond. He's an asshole to everybody. He's a total fucking dick. And he doesn't really get punished for this at all. Like, his fucking girlfriend leaves him and then she comes back. There isn't any real consequence to him fucking taking Raymond. Of course, he starts losing some sales at his business. And then, guess what? Raymond won him all that money back, so it doesn't fucking matter. He can just pay back the people that he owed money to anyways. Granted, I'm sure his business is not going to do great because they just lost all those sales, but, like, still. It doesn't really feel like he gets properly punished for what he is as a character. I don't feel like his progression as a character is well thought out, and that's all the movie really is.
I mean, I don't know. I think that he does do a decent job of progressing throughout the film. It's just in a lot more subtle ways. Like, we do see that at some point, like, prior to the whole them going to Vegas and stuff, they're in, like, a diner and, like, people are, like, being like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with that dude? And, Tom Cruise is like, oh, come on, he's autistic, leave the guy alone, stuff like that. We also see them, like, bonding in, like, the hotel room when, like, Tom Cruise finds out they're like, oh, you were my imaginary friend, you were the Rain Man and stuff like that. He also like consoles Raymond like when the whole bath scene happens as well. I do think there are these much smaller moments that we see throughout the film, which I guess you could interpret them as like Tom Cruise like just feeling the need to adjust so that like he can just like get through the day. But I feel like I see them more as like him growing more empathy towards his brother in those moments.
Yeah, I could see it both ways. The big thing, too, is that his character doesn't really feel like it changes a ton from the start to the end. And you could also, of course, look at it the way as, he just wants to get past this situation as fast as possible. Like, if his brother starts freaking out over the bathwater, the easiest way for this situation to diffuse itself is for him to just, fucking calm the guy and make him, shut up. Maybe you could have done that in a more harsh way if you were trying to go the angle of him just trying to make it go away faster so he can just get along with it. But I don't know. I agree. There's some subtle moments, but I just don't feel like it adds up enough for like the total flip. And maybe I'm just getting stat checked on this one. I don't know. I'd like to see more arguments towards it.
One quick interjection. I know Tanner hasn't had time to say shit about this movie yet. I actually was going to reference, there were times like the bath scene where little by little his childhood that he doesn't remember super well and was super disconnected from was slowly getting filled in through, like, vicariously through his brother, and like the random moments he had, like finding out that Rain Man was Raymond, and like Nico had set out, and wondering why he never met his brother, which was kind of alluded to, like he turned on the bathwater to give him a bath and made it too hot and burned him when he was a baby, so they sent him away or something. Just small things like that where he's slowly figuring things out, not only about his brother but about his father and his, I guess you could say, family history in an almost indirect kind of way. But I like that part of the movie as well.
I will say, though, Jackson, I do agree with you on the point that I have also heard that this film, I don't know if it probably was this film. I don't think there was a lot of autistic representation back in these days.
Yeah, just to preface here, too, before you make this point, this film did fucking gangbusters. This was a huge film at the time. I think it was the nominated movie of the year in 1988. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, I have also just heard that a lot of autistic people do have other people have the preconceived notion about autistic people, like, oh, you're autistic, that must mean you're like crazy good with numbers and all this other stuff, when in reality most autistic people just have trouble interacting with other people and stuff like that. They don't really get some superpower because of it, which I can definitely see how that would be a shitty thing. I think it's actually good. I think that people should think that about autistic people.
Well, no, I was going to say no offense, but I think that's kind of an autistic way of looking at it. Like, if you watch the movie and you're like, oh, this is saying all autistic people are like this, you're being kind of autistic.
We're not saying that. We're saying the public reception was that, which is, I guess, you trying to say the entire audience
is wrong for thinking that.
Everyone's an autist, which is honestly kind of valid.
I think we just have a much better understanding of what autism is nowadays, Tanner, especially with your mom, like, teaching autistic children and stuff like that. Presumably, you'd know much better about them than any of us would.
Dude, I don't know if we do have a better understanding, at least until we start looking into these vaccines, am I right?
The better understanding is that it's just a lot more broad than we initially thought it was.
Yeah.
I watched The Rain Man when I was a young man. That's my RFK impersonation. Anyway.
I will also say one other thing that I really like about this film. There are many other things, but I really like that there wasn't like some sudden moment of like clarity for Raymond or anything like that at the end of the film where he's like, Tom, I really appreciate everything that you did for me. I feel like we've grown so close over the course of this adventure, and I really love and appreciate you.
I was waiting for that, not gonna lie.
I do agree with Nico on that, too. I actually really do like the restraint with Raymond's character, because they don't do the obvious thing of him actually presenting some sort of, sign that he does actually notice our main character. He actually does feel emotions toward him. We don't get any of that. Raymond is the exact same guy from the start to the end. He knows more about his brother, but that doesn't really change anything, as we saw in the interview, which I like. It adds a lot more depth to his character, I think, and also it kind of just alters the way you look at all the interactions throughout the movie, which I think is nice. It also puts a bit more spotlight in the back of your head to Tom Cruise's acting as a character, which I think was very well done, too. I think he does a good job being some fucking douchebag.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate this film didn't end on, like... This absolutely could have gone, like, some Hallmark route or something like that and been, like, super schmaltzy, but no, they definitely were much more reserved and ended on a much more bittersweet sort of note.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys have been saying. I think this is a really solid movie. I think the acting is incredible. I think it's some of the best acting we've seen, and I think it's a very well-written story as well.
Absolutely agreed. I have another fun fact here. Apparently, the actor for Raymond, Ratso himself, we all love Ratso. Apparently, he had doubts throughout the shooting for this film and just like wanted to be replaced during it, and so he wanted to like drop out so they could replace him with Bill Murray instead.
Yeah, I saw that shit too. That's funny as fuck. I think he looks a lot. Honestly, it's hard to imagine it, but like if I think about Bill Murray in the context of this film, I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't either.
I think its face is too recognizable potentially.
It's too goofy. I mean, I recognize Dustin Hoffman though. That's the other problem. But
I know him from Midnight Cowboy and one other thing.
I actually didn't know he was Ratso from Midnight Cowboy, to be completely honest. I know him from another movie.
Straw Dogs, right?
No.
Yeah, he was the main character
Not-
in Straw Dogs.
Was he?
Yeah.
God, I didn't recognize him from that either.
where else do you know him from?
Meet the Fockers.
Oh, okay.
And probably some other movie, I don't know. Whatever.
He's a very underground actor or not.
Yeah. Anyway, we good?
Yeah, do we have any final thoughts for this one?
I'm good. I'm tapped out, dude. I said a lot.
All right. I like this film. I'm still giving it an A.
I agree. I don't think... Yeah, after all that deliberation, my thoughts on this movie have not changed. I still think it's great. I gave it an S-. Very touching.
I'm glad we're all in agreement that our ranks haven't changed. I'm still giving it a B.
Jesus.
Which still, it's not a bad rank. B is not a bad rank. I think it's fine.
That's what I've said. I
don't-
gave Midnight Cowboy a B, and you were like, I can't believe
Yeah,
you
you
scored
fucking hate that
low.
movie, you fucking dick, you piece of shit. We all see movies different ways. It's been a while since I've been in my hater arc, so let's get back to that.
Holy shit, he's back. Tanner?
Yeah, my rank remains unchanged. I'm still at an A+.
Holy shit.
And that lands it at
B+.
an A overall.
Holy shit.
Pretty solid rank. That sounds about right with the critical reception of this movie, I think.
There we go. I'm good with that.
And speaking of A-tier movies, we have Dylan's pick this week, that being the second Indiana Jones movie, The Temple of Doom. Please describe the plot for us.
Holy shit, I forgot I picked a movie this week. Yeah, so Indiana Jones 2, Temple of Doom, takes place in, I don't know, somewhere in India. He's making some kind of negotiation deal, gets shot out. Then he basically finds a villager like, hey, find our rock. And he goes into a cave. Well, he goes into a mansion, goes into a cave, finds like child slavery or something. Gets hypnotized, kills all the bad guys, escapes on a minecart water slide ride. Gets like the gems and kills everybody via crocodiles in the British army or some shit. Returns the stone and gets the babe and lives happily ever after. Fun fact, the kid is the guy in fucking Everything Everywhere All at Once. Anyway,
Yeah.
Tanner, what's your fun fact? And Goonies. I can't forget that
and
one.
Goonies.
Of course.
Goonies is the big one.
Fun fact, Harrison Ford taught Kei Hui Kwan how to swim during the filming of this movie.
Holy
That's
shit.
cute.
That's nice and wholesome. Tanner,
Yeah.
I am dying to know, where are you ranking this film?
Dude, right now I have it at a B.
Oh
Okay.
shit, that's right. We're
Yeah,
doing
Dylan,
the
where are you
pre-ranks.
thinking?
Oh man, is this higher or lower than the other Indiana? I think it's lower than the other Indiana Jones movie. I gave it an A-. It's an A-. I don't know what I gave the other one though.
Yeah, I wasn't huge into this one. I gave it a C+.
Oh damn, that's a substantial drop.
Yeah, I'm in between Tanner and Nico. I think this is a substantial decrease in quality from the first one. I gave it a B-.
Okay. Yeah, my major problem is this movie is just fucking weird and not in a good way in so many parts of it. I think the opening scene is fantastic. I loved all of that shit. That was very fun.
I think that there were definitely some interesting parts to it, but like the entire time I couldn't help but think, damn, they are like just really doing everything they can to like make this sort of plot work here, because just the fact that Indy would fucking drink that cocktail, whatever the fuck that the people gave him. Why would he do that?
I mean, he didn't. It was. I'm assuming you're talking about the blood from the fucking skull chalice, right?
What?
No, at the beginning of the film.
Oh, sorry. I'm still mulling over my list. I
Gotcha.
don't know, because he's just kind of in public. He thinks he's got the upper hand, but he doesn't realize that, hey, maybe they poisoned the drink. I don't know if that's like a normal thought process.
Like,
I don't know.
I thought that scene was so cool. The way they kept like one up on each other with like, well, what about this? What about this? They're both like, just really trying to get the shit they want from here. But like, I feel like he should be way smarter than just fucking accept that drink.
I agree, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I do agree with Tanner, though. I think that opening scene is fun. Honestly, this is going to be kind of dumb, probably, but one of my biggest criticisms with this stupid fucking movie is the woman. I think is an insufferable character.
Awful.
I find
yes.
I find her really fucking annoying, and she is a big part of this movie, and that tears it down a lot for me.
Yeah.
The kid too. This is gonna be weird. I think he's funny, but like it. And this is gonna be like the most Zoomer thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But I felt like he was fucking clip farming. He's just like constantly saying one-liners and dingers, fucking nonstop, and I found that very annoying.
I think that was the purpose of this
I
movie,
liked
dude.
him.
He was
I mean,
fine.
I think he's funny, but I guess a little annoying over time. I can't remember exactly what movie it was. How to Train Your Dragon, I think, where it felt like they were constantly just trying to do setups for fucking like trailer clips.
Oh yeah.
I see where you're coming from. I don't think this movie was doing that. But, I don't know how fucking movie commercials were for movies back then. I was actually, on top of mulling over my list and trying to find the original Indiana Jones, which also I've heard that this is supposed to be the prequel. I think you guys said that. This is supposed to be a prequel to fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark, apparently. So, but I gave it an A-, and I'm actually shocked none of you guys... I mean, I'm sure in your minds you're like, this guy's fucking insane. I was mulling over my list, and I was like, this does not belong in A-, especially considering, I don't remember if I was DMing Jackson or not, I think this was in the general chat, of just like how bad they were wanting to use the green screen, but just not utilizing it well. Many prime examples especially happen at the end where they were disproportionate to the cave size when the rushing water was coming towards them. Their environment was just so much bigger than they were. Them scaling the fucking cliffs. I don't know how to feel about the alligator scene at the end. Like, obviously you're not going to throw people into a river with live alligators. That shit just looked terrible, though. It was just basically alligators ripping apart clothing. This movie was fine in the beginning, I will agree. I think it had some interesting plot points. I just think the way it presented them was boring, and this movie moved at a very sluggish pace. It definitely isn't up to like the action pace that the other Indiana Jones movies are. I mean, even what's the next one that we're gonna have to watch? The third one, I'm forgetting the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even compared to The Last Crusade, now that I'm thinking about it, this movie is just not up to it at all.
Which, frankly, I was shocked by, because, like,
Yeah.
I had always heard, like, oh, yeah, the Indiana Jones movies are really great, except for that fourth one. What's with the aliens? But, like, this one was nowhere near the previous one.
Yeah, and I heard people don't like the fourth one either, which I can give or take. I was introduced to the franchise on the fourth one, so it's whatever. But it's just, like, it's such a slog. I think the best character, honestly, was the little Asian kid, almost over Harrison Ford, I would say, despite him being the main character. The female protagonist, she was just there, and yes, she was annoying. I agree with that point. And this is one of those moments where the more I think about it and the more we talk about it, I am absolutely insane for putting this movie where I originally placed it. That is quite astounding. They really tried to lean into the special effects, and they didn't do it well.
Yeah, the CG is fucking terrible, and like the last like third of the
Half
movie,
hour.
they use it I mean, they use green screens all the time, but it's certainly much more noticeable and egregious in the action scenes than like the last third.
Yeah.
And something I found weird about a lot of the action scenes is that a lot of them look bad while also looking like they were genuinely putting themselves in danger. I don't know how you manage to have an action scene where you're like authentically putting yourself in danger, but it comes out looking bad.
They're letting fear stop them. I don't know, Tanner. That's a fair point, though. I wouldn't have said that myself, obviously.
Random aside, what did the Indians think of this movie?
They don't like it.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Which, frankly, like, it could be so much worse, guys.
It could be.
It could be.
Like, what is it? We're like, yeah, they're poor and they eat weird food. That's not anywhere close to the most offensive things that people in 1989 could be saying about
That is
India.
very
Quite
true.
frankly, what people could be saying about India right now.
Exactly.
They didn't. Whoa! Which is like part of their culture, unfortunately. Okay, scratch that. Cut that out, Nico.
Okay.
This is actually a fairly positive view of the Indian subcontinent.
At the very least, I will say, I like that Indiana Jones actually has a purpose in the plot this time around, you know? In the first one, the events would have played out exactly the same way if he wasn't there. They all would have fucking died. But this time, you know, He stopped those child slavers.
I mean, to be fair, I heard a fun fact of, I think even Tanner said this, or we discovered this about the last movie. The Indiana Jones was added post-production, so I think the movie not being centralized necessarily 100% around him makes more sense than in this movie, considering this was actually in quote-unquote Indiana Jones, but, you know, I think that argument is null and void and doesn't matter, given he was still the main protagonist in the first one.
I kind of see the argument you're making.
Good, because I'm half here. Quite frankly, I don't have too much more to say about this movie.
I think this movie has some fun scenes. I like the spike trap thing. I think I like the spike trap thing.
Yeah, see, it's one thing I think we can all agree on. I think this is why we liked The Thing so much and why it's still one of our highest rated horror movies, is because they really utilized visual effects. I think that's what older movies do the best. And aside from Jurassic Park 1, this movie just could have utilized more visual effects, and it just didn't for some reason.
You mean like practical ones?
Or practical effects. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that.
I
But
get what you're saying.
That's what I think we can agree. That's where these older movies kind of thrive. It's the environment they set up, like especially in Aliens. Like, I didn't think Alien was particularly a great movie, and I could be bashed for saying that on many levels. But I think what those movies and this movie could do well is the environmental setup where they try to authentically recreate what they're trying to go for instead of trying to CGI that shit. I think that's enjoyable. So yeah, the spike trap, I agree, was good. They should have done more shit like that in this movie. They just didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of like goofy things too. The full fucking minecart thing, I'm sure is very iconic, but also like it was pretty goofy, and I don't think it was super well done. The whole setup to the finale on the bridge is retarded. Why the fuck is the bad guy walking onto the bridge himself? Is he stupid?
Yes.
How did none of them see what Indy planned on doing? Are they stupid? Are they blind? Who knows?
Plot progression.
And of course, it all looked fucking terrible. And it feels like the ending just dragged on for so long.
Yeah, it
like,
went so long.
I legitimately thought we were done with the movie soon before the fucking minecart ride. And then we had the whole minecart ride in the entire segment after with the fucking everything.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I still think it's like a fun movie. It's bad, but like in a fun way.
I agree, dude. I agree.
It's kind of like it's a lesser Die Hard 3 for me. You know, it's like it's some dumb schlocky fun.
Yeah.
I was having a kick out of it the entire time I was watching, especially like with all the fucking CG shit. We're just busting a gut about that constantly.
Okay. Do we have any other thoughts before final ranks?
No.
I don't think so. Honestly, I kind of feel like giving it a lower rank than I initially said, but I'll keep it at a C+ for now. I could see myself eventually changing it though.
I could also see myself lowering it potentially, but I'm going to keep it at a B- just because I do think the entertainment factor pulls it up a bit for me.
I am actually going to go down one to a B-.
And I am going to make the biggest jump of us all because I think I was gaslighting and blowing this movie out of proportion.
Give it a
which
D.
one do I want to go? No, not that low. I'm trying to decide. I'm between two ranks, and both the ranks are ranks we've, well, besides Jackson, have said. Damn. I don't want to watch it over those movies, though. I guess I'll also give it a C+.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial decrease.
Yeah, I think I was coping hard with this movie, dude, if I'm being completely honest.
To be fair, there are many defenders of this film.
That's fair. Like Jackson was saying, it's a fun movie. It's just not executed well.
Unlike the defenders of this
with
film who
this one.
should be executed.
Jesus Christ.
True. Anyways, unsurprisingly, that puts it at a B- overall.
That's fair.
Pretty substantial downgrade from the first one, which I think got somewhere in the A.
Yeah, that's valid, honestly.
Yeah, the first one got a solid A, so yeah, this is a pretty massive decrease here, unfortunately. Let's hope the third one's better, and then it's going to go right back down with the aliens.
I think
I
it's pretty
hear
good.
that allegedly the third film is like on par, if not potentially better than the first one.
Yeah, I've always heard the third is the best.
That's fair.
I'm excited to see that. I liked the first one quite a bit. It was very quaint, so I'm excited to see what they do with a bigger budget and potentially better production.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've got my movie this week, the last one we watched, that being the 2019 film Made in Abyss, Journey's Dawn. This is the first half of the TV anime Made in Abyss, cut down into a movie. At some point, we might watch a second one. Who knows? This one takes place between, the fucking start where we meet our main protagonist, Rico, and who she later finds Reg. And they want to get down to the bottom of the abyss, and we follow them down the abyss as they go through the first 3 layers until they get to the hanging trees upside down part where they meet Ozen, which is a white whistle. They get some lore dumps about what Rico is, potentially her mother's whereabout, which is the big goal. Rico wants to go find her mother at the bottom of the abyss, and that's basically the first Made in Abyss. It's a setup movie. It's a lot of lore information and world building. Anyways, Tanner, what's your fun fact?
Fun fact: it's a recap movie.
Oh,
Okay, that's a great fact.
Dude, I couldn't find shit.
I have an actual fun fact. This probably is not going to come as a shock to you guys, but one of the background artists for the anime actually does. He works for Ghibli as well.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
fun. Another fun fact, the composer for Made in Abyss has been a guest on the Trash Taste podcast. He's an Aussie
Dude, that guy's
boy.
my fucking goat.
Yeah.
another fun fact. Go on, Jackson.
No, you give your fun fact. I already gave one.
No, it's fine. You finish your thought. My fun fact is subject to go say your thing.
I was just going to say that the composer's a fucking goat. This is like a 4-hour OST for this anime. This was, of course, made for just the TV anime, not the fucking sequel movie or season 2. I mean, obviously, they're using these songs still for those, but like 4-hour OST for a fucking 13-episode anime is pretty sick. It's super high production. It's really good. It's pretty notoriously one of like the best anime OSTs. People jack it off a ton for valid reason. It's really good and it elevates the movie a lot.
Yeah.
My fun fact is I gave this movie an S-.
Whoa.
Holy based. Personally, I gave it an 8. Yeah, you go, Tanner.
I was just gonna say, I feel like it's funniest to follow that up with my ranking, which is a C-.
Holy shit.
Honestly, pretty based too, though, Tanner.
Based for different reasons. I gave it an A+ personally.
I'm still not totally sure where I'm putting it. It's floating somewhere in the B's, though, for me.
Damn.
It's somewhere in that ballpark.
I'll go ahead and give my take on it since Jackson's the only one who I'm assuming who's seen the actual anime.
No, I've seen it too.
Oh, you've seen it too? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give my outsider perspective since, before it was Jackson was low on the movie, so we made him go first. I'm high on the movie. I'll go first on this one, especially I've heard of Made in Abyss. I've never seen it before. Don't know what it's about. This is another example of this is an anime movie that made me want to watch said anime. The other one was, in fact, Demon Slayer, so it's a very high chance that I'm going to probably go watch the Made in Abyss anime at some point. But yeah, I love the animation style. I think that the characters have a lot of personality, and I do like the mystery that this movie sets up. I think that the world building, it's funny that they have world building, but it's such a concealed location. And, they're like, everything we know is here, but also everything we don't know is here. And I mean that in the fact of the abyss is just seemingly endless. Like, they know there's a bottom, but hardly anybody makes it, and anybody who does doesn't make it back. They're setting up a lot of the world in this movie, and they just put so much intrigue into it. And I agree, I think the soundtrack is beautiful for this anime, but I like how with all the secrets they introduce, they also don't immediately answer them. Obviously, it's probably to lure you in to either watch the second movie or to go watch the anime, like I'm probably going to. But I love how cute this movie is. I like how there are like obstacles and challenges, and there's not some, besides like Rick being like a fucking super autonomous robot, there's not like just an easy solution or way around it like in some of these other animes where like, oh, there's a problem, oh, I have a superpower, like in this world they have artifacts and relics. Like, surely the creators could have just been like, hey, I found this relic while digging and it just so happens to help us in this situation. I like the exploration, and I love the pace of the movie. The pace, it's a 2-hour anime movie, which again, I think it's 2 hours. 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's like just under.
The pacing was great. I'm used to anime movies, of course. This goes back to fucking Kaguya, but like 2-hour anime movies is unheard of. But I think the pacing was fairly well done in this movie. It did lose me for like a second about 3/4 of the way in, but then it snapped right back for the last bit of it. And this movie left me wanting to watch more. And I think that any movie that can leave that kind of impression, especially just a yearning for more content, is very good. Also based on me giving the rest of why I like this movie. But yeah, that's why I liked it. I thought it was very beautiful movie, very cute, very easy to watch, very easy to get into. And I did watch it in Japanese. I watched it with English subs.
Yeah, we do. We have the Two Wolves on the Guapish podcast here, where Dylan and I are watching in Japanese, and Tanner and Nico watched it in English.
You motherfuckers.
So when we get to the highly emotional scenes, if they didn't have as much impact later on, then you guys know why. Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let me go ahead and contrast Dylan's enthusiasm.
Whatever.
So this movie failed for me on the most fundamental level in that it did not make me interested to go watch the anime. I think I have a lot of the same problems with this movie as I did with the first Evangelion movie, where you can just tell that this is like events and plot points and stuff from another medium being forced into this movie one, and I don't think it does a transition well. Unlike Dylan, I think the pacing is not good at all, and I think it kind of comes down to it does stuff that should be slower too fast, and then does stuff that should be fast too slow. Like, it simultaneously feels like we are blasting through events while also not really having time to absorb anything that should be happening in any given locale. My biggest problem is I just found it boring, to be honest. I wasn't brought into the world. All of the lore dumps just kind of bored me. I just did not get into this one at all.
I don't really know if there's much arguing we can do if you had no interest in the world building at all. So
Yeah.
Cool, that sounds good. Nico, how about you? What do you think about this movie? Why is it a B tier something?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of Tanner's points, honestly. Outside of the world building, okay, I think as a phenomenal world, I think it's super cool. I love the creature designs. I love Reg's design himself. I think it's super fucking sick. And just, yeah, the music, everything outside of the story itself, I think is very well done. The problem is the story here, though, which is, yeah, as Tanner said, they're just cramming a bunch of episodes into one film, and it doesn't really build up to anything is the biggest issue. You're just having that feeling of, when are we getting to the fireworks factory, you know? Like, what even is, like, the big climax for this movie?
The climax is them getting past Ozen.
Mm-hmm.
She was like the big boogeyman that was established when they first got into the Abyss from the fucking what's his name, the big guy.
Uncle.
We've been told, you know, bad things about the White Whistles. They're pretty enigmatic people. And we first meet Ozen, and she's, you know, she fucks him up. She is the main antagonist of the movie. They get past her through their training. I will say, the anime, of course, one of the things they cut out is the training session of them in the third layer or second layer, what a fucking layer it is. It's much more fleshed out. They fucking sped around that shit for brevity.
Yeah, like, I'm certain that me having watched the anime already does negatively impact that portion of it, because I just, at no point did I feel as though there were in particularly any real threat. Like, I don't know, it, like Tanner said, this is just all build up without any sort of, like, you know, big explosion to make it be like, yeah, that was a fantastic time.
Personally, I would disagree. I don't really think that having a big boss or some shit to, like, huddle.
I don't think you need that, but, like, even just, like, any sort of, like, big character moment for them, we don't have that either. Like,
you're saying that Rico's entire motivations being thrown into question isn't a big character moment?
Not particularly.
I would I'd hard disagree on that personally. I think it completely turns a movie up on its head. It was like, yeah, no, she's not. There's like I mean, they literally throw all of her motivations out the fucking window. She's going down there to see her mom. Her mom actually is completely unknown. She may be dead, she may not. She's not the one that wrote that letter. Who fucking knows? We don't know anything about Reg. We saw some notes about him. There's a lot of intrigue based on that. And of course, Rico wants to go see her mom, but maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's actually just getting called to the abyss from that fucking relic that she was reborn in. Maybe it's not of her own free will at all. I think that's very interesting, and I think it adds a lot of intrigue.
I agree.
And
I think all that is very interesting, but like we don't really get any payoff for any of it throughout this film is the issue.
Well, that's the big thing with this too, is obviously, you know, they have to work with their limitations, given that this is, of course, just a TV anime cut down into a movie. This is definitely you're along for the journey, you're not here for the end. And that's just how Main Abyss has always been. And of course, this is coming from a big Main Abyss fan. I've watched all the anime, I've read the entire manga. That's always how it is. The whole point of this is just for the journey. You learn more about the Abyss. You're getting more in-depth knowledge about what's going on, and that's what this movie's doing. It has incredible world building. It does a really good job establishing the stakes, generally what their motivations are. Just everything about the Abyss as a whole is a very interesting topic. There's all these different layers. We don't know a ton about them. So there's so much depth to that, and it's all so intriguing. It all makes you want to keep learning more. It puts you in the place of the characters that want to go down here, discover more about the Abyss, and reach the bottom. And that's what the movie's trying to accomplish, and it accomplished it very well for me personally. And it reinvigorated my inspiration to want to go and watch the anime again, as Dylan did. So yeah, I think that's more than two wolves for just a language thing. I think it is just if we were sucked into it again over if we didn't really care that much.
One disagreement I have with sort of your beginning point about how like the big climax is like her having her motives like flipped around or whatever. The problem for me is I don't believe Ozen.
Yeah, also same here. I'm sure it's because I've seen the anime, so I know where that stuff goes, but like, yeah, I just didn't believe her.
Me personally, at that point, my beliefs were thrown into question. So now I'm invested in what Rico's invested in to figure out what the actual truth is. I personally don't always need a bow on top of my stories. I don't necessarily need something to clench off the movie. I think, which is why I'm probably invested in the games and everything that I am. I'm perfectly fine being along for the ride and experiencing things as the character does, especially when I know that this is only the first half. This is just the beginning of the adventure. Like, I know there's a second movie. I mean, maybe it'd be different if I didn't know, or I guess I didn't know until the end of the movie, but like, I know that in stories like this, more will get added on, and I am totally down for the ride. And that's just me personally. That's not necessarily a movie thing or whatever. I am all for world building, story building, lore discovery, questions being answered. I personally am of the favor of, I'm fine if more questions become created than answers, especially if I know more is coming down the line. And I think that adds to the intrigue to this, because I think that's a very powerful way to draw people in. Personally, I can't say that it is a way to draw people in, as clearly it didn't work on like 1.5 of you. But yeah, for that reason, I remember in that instance where it's like, well, shit, now I don't know if Ozen's telling the truth or not. Guess I'm gonna have to find out. And that's what intrigued me and pulled me along into this movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really don't understand how the Ozen thing's a criticism at all. If anything, it just goes into the themes of the mystery of the Abyss. Like, yeah, who cares if she's telling the truth or not? She's really just trying to give motivation to this child. Because she does, as you kind of saw when Liza mentioned that she was pregnant with Rico, she's not a big fan of her. Also, she thought Rico was an entire burden. She fucking left her for that bell or whatever the fuck they're bringing up when they're, ascending the Abyss. Mm-hmm. She's not a big fan of Rico. She thinks that, probably that Rico's a big part of why maybe her and Liza aren't as close as they are. And she, because of that, she has all these preconceived notions of her. But, you flip the script on her as she learns more about Rico. You see her perseverance and potentially parallels towards Rico and Liza. And maybe Ozen is lying to her. Maybe all of the things she initially said were totally correct. Maybe Liza is fucking dead, who knows. And she's just trying to sugarcoat these things so that she can just, maybe fall in the footsteps of her mother. Who cares if she's fucking lying? It's just giving motivations towards Rico carrying on with her adventure, and I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, and it totally fits with the narration at the end of the movie, too, where Liza's whole goal, even if she's dead, which I don't believe Liza's dead, but I guess I'd have to see. It fits into the narration of, I want my daughter to choose her own life. I want her to discover things on her own. I want her to be able to make decisions. If she chooses to come down the abyss, I want her to do that, and I want you to be her first obstacle. I want you to try and stop her, but make her better so she can face what she's going to face going down the abyss. I think this movie presents a lot of obstacles and overcomings. And I think that even if they just barely skim by, I think that's a really interesting, like, plot progression, and it forces a lot of character development and, mysteries to be solved and intrigue. So I just think that the narration at the end to kind of push forward and not wrap up the story, but wrap the end of this movie to encourage and entice for the next thing to come, I thought that was, in my opinion, nice.
I mean, I like all the intrigue. I like the mystery and stuff that's being built up here in the film. But the problem is, as I said previously, it feels like they're giving us a carrot on the stick here, and they're not giving us any little nibbles to want us to keep going. It just feels like, well, it's always out of reach. They just keep piling stuff onto us without really giving us anything where it's like, oh, yeah, that was a satisfying conclusion to that one little thing that then builds off into more stuff. It's just nothing but mystery right now. And it isn't super satisfying at this point here. Yeah. And I know where the story goes. I know we get conclusions of things which get built up more. I know it eventually gets much better, but just for this film, it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it doesn't stand alone very well. And one other, random problem I have is, the
pedophile stuff.
No, I just can't really
I think the answer to that was yes.
I can't really get invested in there being a sense of danger, which I definitely think they want there to be, purely because of the fact our protagonists are such young children. Granted, the fact it was rated NC-17 for some reason did make me go, maybe they will fucking eviscerate these kids.
Just you wait.
I just was never at a point where I'm like, oh, there's genuine dangers they're gonna face because, they're fucking 9.
The big thing too is that, of course, they're in the first 2 layers of the abyss. Granted, there's not a ton that really happens within the first 2 layers. As they mentioned, you have to be a blue whistle to get into the 3rd layer, and there's fucking 3 ranks higher than the blue whistle, so it's halfway up the fucking totem pole, basically. The first 2 layers aren't super dangerous. There's obviously threats. They have the bird thing that steals Rico, and I think that immediately presents that there is in fact danger. If Reg misses fucking shot, then he kills her, and that's just game over. I think they do establish that. I will say though, I haven't really talked about my criticisms of this movie. I will agree. I think the anime adaptation, just as a whole, really limits it as well. There, of course, is all this intrigue being built up, but I don't take that as a big criticism because I know there is a second movie. This goes into a part, and you can watch them back to back. This is like watching fucking Spider-Verse, for example, where you have to wait 10 fucking years to watch the next one. That shit pisses me off, and I don't give it much credit because I have to wait 10 fucking years to watch the next one.
I was going to bring up Spider-Verse actually as an example of a film that does this 2-part thing well, because we do actually get big moments throughout that. Unlike this film, we do actually get answers to previous things, more intrigue built up, and then it sucks that it does eventually cut off and be well, I guess you have to wait a while for the next film, but we still do get satisfying elements within that film, which I feel like this one is lacking.
And you interrupted me, but what I was trying to say is the fact that there's no fucking wait here. There is the second one, you can watch it immediately. You don't have to fucking pussyfoot around with it. If you're interested in the world building, which is all this one is doing, it's trying to sell you on Made in Abyss as a whole, which I think it does an incredible job of. You can immediately just go and watch the next one right in the series, and there you go. And then that one obviously is much more of an actual, I'm not going to try to fucking say too much about the next movie, but that one has much more of a defined character arcs that you go through and feels like it completes a set of the story, which is, makes sense because it's the end of the first season. So I don't take that as a huge criticism because, it's working with what it has. They do cut out some things that I wish they kept in, like the fucking monkeys. The monkeys! There's these weird monkeys in the fucking trees, and they throw rocks at them and shit. There's just minor things like that they cut out that I'm not a huge fan of. There's other things that they did cut out that I am a fan of, like them hanging Rico up naked. Based for not showing that shit. Thank you, movie. Cut out all that weird shit. Big fan.
They
Other
did show
big
her
things too.
pinned up naked at one point, though.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I blanked out then, dude. Let's go. Never mind. But yeah, no, I think it is definitely limited as it is just, you know, a fucking anime season just cut in half and cut for brevity so that it fits into a movie's scenario. But I think basically everything else is super well done. Obviously, the art direction is incredible. The animation is really well done. I think the monsters, obviously, they're fucking CG, but they have an interesting filter on them that makes them feel like they're much more like part of the scene. Which I think works very well.
I was gonna say I was having so much trouble figuring out what the fuck was happening with them. I was like, I couldn't tell
the big
if they were
snake guy at the start
CG
is
exactly because they did look they looked very strange.
Yeah, no, they're CG. Also, the bird guys, those were fucking 2D animated, obviously. But yeah, the big snake guy, it was CG, which is like a filter on him, which I think works. I think it looks interesting. I think it honestly kind of adds to like the mystery of it all. Like there's some fucking like otherworldly monster basically, which is what it is. You know, like everything else is relatively based in reality, and then we have these big fucking crazy monsters going on. They do establish, of course, the curse of the abyss as well, which I think is interesting. We do see the effects of it a little bit when Riko fucking starts vomiting when she gets taken up high to the nest. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think they could have had a bit more conflict going through it just to add a bit of intrigue. This is mostly just giving you a shit ton of information about the abyss and trying to basically put you in the shoes of the character, and I think it does a very good job of that.
I agree. I wish there was just more of it is all. Which is that truly a criticism?
The more of it is the next movie you can watch immediately after this one if you want.
Alrighty, well, boys. One last thing that I have to say. Jackson, you famously do not like the tower trope in animes, yet you like a big pit. Why is that?
I don't like the tower trope?
Yeah, you said previously that you don't like the trope of like, oh, it's a big tower that the people need to climb, where it's like a bunch of floors or whatever the fuck.
Bro would not like Tower of God in any aspect.
Genuinely have no idea what you're talking about. Did it give like an example of all I can think of with that is like fucking SAO. What other series would I not like that fits that
I don't
genre?
know, you just said it's
what you're talking
overdone.
about.
Tower of God.
I genuinely have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. There's like a tower in Hunter x Hunter, but I think it's fine. Honestly, I like the straightforward progression. If I said that previously, I don't agree with it anymore.
We should watch Tower of God, Jackson.
I'd rather read the manhwa.
We'll read it then. I recommend it highly.
The manhwa has really terrible art, though.
I have 1,000,000 billion fucking manga to read. I got 700 chapters of Initial D to get to before I get to that, so I'll let you know if I start it eventually. Anyways, looks like we are done talking about this. My rank hasn't changed. It's still an A+. Anybody else's changed?
No.
I mean, I never really settled on anything in particular. I guess I'll go with a B. I'll just give it a flat B.
I knew it.
And my rank remains unchanged. I'm still at a C-.
Jesus Christ.
Dylan, yours was an S-, right?
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. The lens it at a B+. Honestly, I mean, Tanner's rank makes sense. If all of the positive of this movie was the super well done world building and all the intrigue it draws to just the setting, if you didn't really like any of that, then a C- makes sense. Obviously, I assume that's mostly being carried by the art and production aspects of it, which you didn't really talk too much about, but fair enough.
I thought it looked very pretty.
Let's pick our movies so we can go to bed.
Okay. Tanner, what movie are you picking for next week, dude?
We are kicking off yet another theme this week, starting with the 1964 film Zulu.
Oh, fascinating. Well, I've really been wanting to watch some good films recently. We just haven't been having very many of them. I think it's about time we get this one off the bucket list. Let's check out The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I think it would have been hype as fuck if you picked Main Abyss 2. That would have been base as fuck of you. And let's roll the old Patreon here. And this week, we are watching the 1977 film Eraserhead, as requested by Lucas Vedette. Thank you for the request.
Been a while since we had a Lucas pick. That's right, and if you too would like to request a movie on the Patreon, then you can just go on over to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish, where you can donate just a single $1 a month. And in doing so, you will get access to our pre-Guap little pre-show that we do, early access to our episodes, our Discord access, where you can talk to us fine folks and tell us all about how you absolutely agree with our takes for the top 10 Wii games. None of them were wrong whatsoever. As well as request movies and topics, and get 500 slime coins. Not only that, we also get your name read out at the end of every single episode, just like GH, Slayed by J, Blake, Nedigant, I Love Lesbians, Toperman Man, Caligula's Gleaming Hard On, I'm a Horse Fucker, Tutbot, Lucas Adet Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you very much, folks. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring-a-ding that bell, and we'll be seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.